Hello and welcome to the Free Cheese Game of the Year 2019, Day 3. I'm your Joe Dix, joined by Mark Augustiniak.
Hello.
Matt Sellner.
Hello.
We are here with 5 more categories and a whole lot of nominees across each one. We've got the debut of not 1, but 2 new categories today. Let's jump right into it. Your categories today are Best Gameplay, Best DLC or Expansion, Favorite In-Game Moment, Best Ongoing Game, and Best Nintendo Game. Our first category of the day, brand new category, Best Gameplay, and your nominees are Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice, Session, Devil May Cry 5, Control, Star Wars Jedi, Fallen Order, Judgment, Astral Chain, Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, Ring Fit Adventure, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Ace Combat 7, Skies Unknown. Dude, there were some good fucking games this year. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So many.
Oh, yeah.
This is hard. This is going to be a tough category to start
that's all right.
trimming down.
That'd be fine.
All right. What do we feel strongly about? Let's start
Judgment. The hours played with the game. Like, should we keep it? Should we not?
So,
I wonder how much that gameplay evolves, though.
I mean, I did enough to understand each portion of that game that you go through.
Yeah.
Whether it's traversing between missions, whether it's the fighting section, it's the tailing the person section, doing the drone or taking pictures for details. Like, all the different detective type stuff they have separated into different parts. And, I mean, they all kind of blend together pretty well. It makes sense for that story to have all those things. Even if you want to go out and do, like, minor things, like you can, play arcade games like you can in Yakuza.
Mm-hmm.
You can do drone racing if you wanted.
I do. Won't.
Go on dates and whatnot. But yeah, the gameplay, I think the part that sticks out to me the most from that would be the combat. Going between, like, the 2 to 3 different styles. It's basically 2 styles.
Is it like the Yakuza thing where, like, you push up to change to Brawler or whatever, push left to change to Dragon?
It's kind of like that, but I think it's with shoulder buttons in this.
Okay, but it's that idea, like, you're jumping between those different fight styles.
It's Crane and Tiger.
Okay.
So Crane is for more crowd control. It's more kick-based, and you have, like, blue trail of, like, blue fire coming out of you. And then you have Tiger for more, like, one-on-one type fights, more fist-oriented, and everything's all red and flashing.
Yeah.
Using the environment to your advantage, too. Like, say that it's not often, I believe, but there are some enemies that they'll be wielding, like, swords, like katanas. If you get cut with this, this affects you long-term. If you get cut badly, you have to spend a lot of money to get repaired, or else you're dealing with this wound throughout the rest of the game, and it hinders the way you move and
that's pretty cool.
And like the way you fight. So you have to be really careful. So you want to deal with everything as fast as possible and get rid of, just take down your enemies as quickly as possible. Disarm them. Use your environment to your advantage, so like Batman Arkham style.
Yeah.
There's the icon that pops up for it. You can, like, smash someone's face into a light post, or, like, run off a wall and, dive kick on somebody in their head, take a bike and just, like, chuck it at people. It has those little quick in moments. Like, I think Splinter Cell kind of did this too with Conviction. Whenever you get, like, near, like, an object or something, you just start, like, using the environment.
Conviction, sorry.
Oh, man. Like, if you had them in a bathroom, you could, like, smash their face into the sink until it breaks, and then put them in the mirror and throw them into the stall. Take the toilet seat off and hit them with that.
Yeah,
it has. It's a very smart environment when it comes to fighting. But that's pretty much the part that stands out to me out from the rest of it. So I guess that might hurt it.
No,
in a way. Just because that part I think stands out the most out of everything.
Yeah,
it's the most interesting to me. I mean, like, chasing people is cool too. Like when once you start tailing them, and then you have to do a chase section. Like, the way your character sprints, it's not you don't have to worry about taking, like, sharp turns and, like, messing up or the camera being screwy. Like, the camera does a good job of
snapping,
keeping enough distance behind you, and the way you turn is so realistic because you feel the weight of your turns. It's not like video game logic where it's just instant cut corner.
Yeah.
like GTA style or whatever. No, you actually are leaning in with the turns and keeping that momentum while trying to dodge stuff being thrown at you, or like jumping over cars and sliding under stuff. It's kind of QTE, but not too heavy.
Do you feel strongest about Judgment on this list?
No, probably not.
Well, I'm not saying cut it. I'm just asking. How about Call of Duty Modern Warfare?
That's a prime example of a game knows what it is.
Yeah.
And it does it well. I mean, it depends on what part you're talking about, right? I mean, like, the campaign is full of, like, little set pieces and stuff like that where you're put into little weird situations. One of my favorite parts was, like, raiding that house in all night vision mode. There's a part where, like, you're trying to take over a Russian airbase. And to do that, this rebel force you're with, like, has these drones that have bombs attached to them. So you just start flying drones one after one, like remote control, into different areas. It does mix up a lot of that gameplay in the campaign. There's even one area where, like, it's kind of like this, gives you like a big old like map, and it's like, all right, well, you can kind of take the objectives in whatever order you want to. You just have to get to like point A, B, and C at some point. So, I mean, is it mine? I think I see a bunch of games that I think, you know, played better, but it is a first-person shooter that does first-person shooter super well. And it mixed up the variety of gameplay in the campaign enough for me, too.
All right.
So, but we can cut it. As me personally, I see 3 games I think play better.
Oh, yeah, I'm not going to push for Call of Duty, but I don't say that we have to cut it right away unless you're sure.
I mean, I'm just like, if I personally am going to vote for 3 games above it, I'm going to cut it.
All right.
Just to get proceedings going along. So, I see 3 games.
Is one of those games you're going to vote for Ring Fit Adventure?
No.
Oh,
but I'll let you talk.
What a fucking weird game that I didn't expect
Sounds weird
to be playing every day for the last 2 months. But here we are. Like, that was the one thing I was sad about being in Japan for, is that game came out while I was there and I couldn't play it. I was so excited for that game. Out of nowhere, too. Like, they announced it after a Nintendo Direct, not part of the Direct. And it was like, what do you do? What is this weird thing? And then I remember the day it came out, I was walking through the store in Kyoto, and it had this big end display, and it just, like, literally, like, it was like 2 p.m. on the day it came out, and it just said, like, sorry, we're sold out. And then, like, everywhere we went that sold video games for the next week sold out completely in Japan. And, like, came back here, and I think before it had launched, I ordered it from Target to, like, just have it shipped right to my house, because I was like, oh shit, is this thing gonna, like, fucking, sell out? I didn't think it would, right? Why the fuck? And it's apparently still pretty hard to find in Japan, and I don't know about here, but I have not seen it, like, just out in a Target since, I saw it, like, 1 copy of it maybe, but I don't, but anyway, yeah, like, what a weird surprise, but it's so weird. Like, it's got me, I'm excited to come home and play it. I mean, there's some stuff about it that sucks, but what sucks about it is it hurts to do these things. I don't want to do these things, but it's also like, my legs feel pretty good now. You know what I mean? Like, I feel better than I did before about my body. Have
you noticed any?
Oh yeah, dude. Like
changes?
Yeah, 1,000%. Like, I can see, like, definition in different parts that I didn't think I had before. I've lost more weight, but I like kind of plateaued a little bit in terms of the weight loss thing. But I'm also seeing more tone happen, which is kind of like that balance, right? But yeah, no, totally. Like, my legs definitely feel stronger.
Totally or tonally?
Weird. Fucking totally, Tony. And yeah, I don't know. Like, it's strange. But in terms of a video game, it's cool how they use the narrative of that physical ring device. Sorry, if anyone doesn't know what Ring Fit Adventure is, it's a Nintendo Switch game. You have a resistance band in the shape of a steering wheel that has 2 handles on the side, 2 grips on the side. You slip a Joy-Con into the top of it, and then you put one in a leg strap that you then wrap around your leg. And then the game tracks your motion with your, movement with your running, and then squeezes, presses, pulls on this resistance band. The gameplay itself is all predicated upon an RPG where you're running through worlds from point A to point B, but along that path, there might be enemies you fight. There might be obstacles you have to overcome. And those obstacles could be a big old box in your way where you have to squeeze the wheel and it shoots a puff of air to break the box. It might be a platform you have to jump over. So you point the wheel to the ground and you push and squeeze to squeeze air and push up off the ground. There's RPG style leveling system and those things where you might have enemies who are weak against leg attacks. So you have to use your leg attacks. There's, you can later get like perks as part of your skill tree that reward, like higher percentage chance of a bonus attack after resolving your ab based attack or your core attack. So if you do an attack like that, you have a higher percentage chance, and then you get to roll into a secondary attack without taking damage. Like just little things like that all play into it, and all in the sense of like working out. And they build that into your character where your character actually physically your character goes fucking Super Saiyan if you're working out correctly. So if you're squatting in the right position, you have the right, pose with your body, your character's hair lights on fire and turns full blonde and whatever, and
glutes are glowing.
It's cool. And then the whole thing like predicated upon like the gameplay is you physically playing the game, which is weird but really neat. It's immersive in a way that like makes you feel like you're a part of it. Obviously you feel a connection to the character, but also like you walk away from it just like, man, I'm going through my fucking adventure. And there's no end in sight too. I mean, this thing, I think the up front, it's like or on Nintendo's website or something, it says that 30 minutes a day is about 3 months of adventure mode. And I'm generally 30 minutes a day, sometimes a little bit more, but I'm not doing it I typically like 6 out of 7 days a week is what I'm doing.
That's good.
And even though I might work out for like an hour time, it's actually only like, I don't know, sometimes 35 minutes in-game time. Because like there's a lot of like start and stop stuff. But anyway, I don't know. I put it on here because it's unique gameplay for sure. I don't know if it's best gameplay. Like what you're doing is like literally affecting your character and you.
It's the most healthy.
Yeah. As a way to gamify working out,
yeah.
Like you think about ways that this has been done before, and this one actually forces you to. There is a warm up thing and a cool down stretching thing in this game, and those are the only like kind of like non-interactive things. They tell you to, but you can just stand there and stare at the screen if you really wanted to. Where the actual game, there's no cheesing it. There's no whatever. You can cheese it. I shouldn't say that. You can totally like lay down when you're supposed to be doing your plank. The problem is it detects that you're laying down and not doing your plank, and if you have to do something, but if you don't do what it wants you to do, it knows you didn't do what you're supposed to do, and it like doesn't give you the highest attack. Right? If your attack potential is 100 points, if you don't do it all the way, then it's only going to be like 80 or 60 or 30. I'm not ready to cut that one just yet.
No, I was gonna say, like, how would you line it up with Wii Fit and Wii Fit U or whatever Wii U Fit?
Yeah, I think it's definitely the one thing I miss about Wii Fit U is Wii Fit U was, and both games encourage like proper posture, both in the game and outside of the game. Like Wii Fit was really good at telling you like how to sit in a chair and things like that, and focusing on your center of balance in the game. There's nothing here to measure that, so it's hard to know that you're doing it right. With Wii Fit U, you'd get done a workout and it would be like, hey, you stood all, and you can see the lines drawing where you were standing, and it's like, oh fuck, I was way left. And then the next, like, it became like a little mini game in and of itself, just to see every day, like, am I getting closer to the center? And you did over time. The downside though, like, if you were going to go on a jog in Wii Fit U, you had to put a Joy-Con in your pocket. I'm sorry, a Wii remote in your pocket and run in place. And it never really felt right or accurate with what was on screen. This feels accurate. Like when I'm sprinting, my character is sprinting. When I'm like running with my knees high to get up a hill, my character's like high knee lifting. You're mirroring that. So I think in that regard, this is so much more accurate and more whatever. And I don't. There's like a genuine like addiction to it. I think, in a good, not like addiction, but like I didn't do it today because we were recording, and I'm like,
but it's forming a good habit.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. And the cool thing is just like Wii Fit, it gives you these little things where it's like Wii Fit would weigh you, right? And if you were over what you were yesterday, Wii Fit would be like, "Sup, dude?" And if you said they gave you options, it would be like, "I don't know," and it'd be like, "Yeah, all right, you probably know, but we won't pick on you. It's fine." But it would be like give you options like snacking, and like that's always my thing. If I was ever like seeing an increase in my weight, it's always because it's like 10 o'clock at night and I got a fucking bag of something that I'm getting into, you know what I'm saying? And this has a little bit of that too, that encourages like better diet and whatever, which I feel like I've done in the last couple of years anyway.
Right.
I can't necessarily attribute that to buying Wii Fit or not, but yeah, it encourages a healthier lifestyle for sure, all around.
I just know, like, because I know, like, for yesterday, you know, what's the biggest disappointment? I didn't, because like of usually where the games are coming from in terms of gameplay versus how they are now.
Sure, yeah.
I was like, was this a step in the?
It's definitely a step in the right direction.
An improvement.
It is. I would love to see if they could integrate something like the balance board again.
Yeah.
But that is so like that ring is so convenient. Like right now, I've got it in a weird setup because I still have the box out. But like I could very realistically just put that on the shelf I have with all my controllers and it'd be fine. Where the Wii Fit thing is fucking heavy and, you know, it's sitting under the couch, which isn't the worst, but I got dog hair all over. It's just like it's a thing. I've got to shove 4 batteries in it every couple months, which not the end of the world, right? But this, when the Joy-Con run out, I put it on the side of the Switch, I pop another, you know what I mean? It's fine. And I don't know. It definitely feels like a step up, though. And honestly, what I'm hoping for, and this is a little bit sidetrack from our topic here, but I hope that it continues, right? I hope there's DLC for that game that adds more to it, like another adventure or something, because 3 months is fine, but what happens after, you know? Anyway, that's a long time about Ring Fit. I didn't think I'd do that much on Ring Fit, but I don't know. What else you got? What else we got? I talked a lot. Did you talk about Star Wars yet?
No, not yet.
Did you talk about Sekiro yet?
No.
Why not both?
So they're both very heavy in that sword combat, but with like a parry system where you're essentially trying to break your opponent's stance to get in a blow. Sekiro does it where like, yeah, there's health, but they go for a death blow. Like that's the you want to either get someone's health down enough or break their stance enough to get in a death blow, and then that's how you kill your opponents. So like bosses, they would have like a health meter, but it would require 3 death blows to get rid of them.
Right.
So you have to kind of drain their health meter or just parry the hell out of them. Because some bosses just play right into that. You break their stance, death blow, and you're on to the next one. You know, and there's a little bit of a skill tree there. Based on trying to remember how you get your upgrades now. You get those beads. You get a power up from like defeating bosses and stuff like that. But yeah, there's a little bit of a skill tree where you can get different like moves, like powerful moves, or like kind of combos, but not really. And then of course like the hook can get into the gameplay a little bit because you do have like a grappling hook to get from place to place. Very Dark Souls like, whereas like you got this big massive open map, but there's all kinds of different shortcuts to get from point A to point B, or you know, to kind of get back to where you were from a certain area. Once again, they've made another hell of a map that is just all like kind of continuous. And then you got your lamp posts. I forgot what they are in this game. Bonfire. I don't remember.
Were they like, I don't know either, but were they like shrines or something?
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, it's some kind of like something like a shrine. Yeah. But like you know, you still have that checkpoint system. But like the game is a challenge, and it's going to put your skills to the test.
Cool.
Star Wars. very similar, right? But this, instead of like a grappling hook, you got some force powers. You got that little bit of that Titanfall movement. You can, run on walls and stuff like that. Sekiro does play a little bit with stealth more so than Star Wars. The Star Wars doesn't do it at all. But I like the Metroidvania aspect of Star Wars. Like, yeah, Sekiro, you couldn't get to point A to point B, but mostly because it was like locked behind a boss or something like that.
Sure.
Star Wars is like, all right, I couldn't push down this bridge yet, so like I can remember this and come back to it. And it might be a shortcut, it might be a whole another area of the map. And one of the things I think that game does very well is like sense of exploration and like putting you like you don't have to explore like half of a planet to like the story.
In the case of Star Wars, it sounds like it's a thing where the obstacle is.
I don't have the power yet.
Is the upgrade where Sekiro, the obstacle is you. Like, you're the problem, not the game. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like, until you can get good enough to get past this guy, you're not getting past this guy.
But one thing I really liked about the health part of it, like for you and Sekiro, like you're kind of encouraged to be aggressive because you can revive yourself at least that one time and maybe even twice, right? I think there's just overall more enemy variety in Sekiro than there is in the Star Wars.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, like I said, there are a good amount of creatures in Star Wars, but at the end of the day, you are going to fight a lot of stormtroopers. But yeah, I like them both a lot.
Leave them on for now. We're not to cut anything yet.
Okay.
What else you want to talk about next? You want to...
Where are we at? The Ace Combat. It's like the late bloomer to the party here.
Yeah, man. I mean, I've only spent a little bit of time with that game, but Ace Combat 7 Skies Unknown is a jet fighting game. You are flying planes and shooting missiles, and it's fucking cool. The neat thing that I like about Ace Combat 7 is that it's not just about fly, shoot,
evade,
land.
Oh, and you land.
There is landing mini games to get your bonus XP. But there's I don't know if I talked about this at all in the podcast, but one of the missions I did was a mission where you had to avoid being detected by radar. Did I talk about this?
I think you talked about it on the
air. Yeah, and like you're basically just looking at the mini map, making sure you don't fly into any of the red circles for a while. And then once you're out in the open, there's this big tower that looks like the Washington Monument.
Okay.
And way bigger than that. It's like, whatever. It's kind of like the Washington Monument meets the Space Needle or something. And you have to protect ships so that it can transport the president out of there and whatever. But, like, that becomes, like, more of, like, circling around one thing for a while versus, like, fly here, take out these, fly to the next checkpoint. Like, each mission has been, like, different enough from the last ones. One of the more recent ones that I'd played was you get to a point where they don't turn on your guns, like the organization or whatever, like shuts down your ability to use missiles or gunfire, and you need to just fly out into the middle of gunfire to like pull the gunfire off of your team or whatever. It's kind of like a suicide mission. Like they're like, we don't give a fuck if you live or die, but we can't let you shoot anything because, well, spoilers, right? They think that from your ship, you shot down the president's ship after that last mission. So they're like, we don't trust you with guns, dude. You just fucking killed the president, even though it probably wasn't you. But we're not giving you guns, and but we need to pull this gunfire off of our ships. So just go fly out and draw them away. And eventually, you like smoke them all and fucking do cool shit. They're like, oh shit, he's really all right. Turn his guns back on. Let him. You've been approved to fire weapons, and then whatever. And it changes the way that you expect to play a game like that in different ways. Is it the best gameplay of the year? Probably not. I'm okay if we cut that, but I think that it does enough things to be inventive in the wake of like flying a plane and shooting shit. It's cool. So we got Astral Chain and Devil May Cry 5 on here.
Mm-hmm.
Both of which, for me, scratch similar itches and also agitate the same annoyances because I'm not good at those types of games. And I never feel like I'm given the feedback from the game at what I could do better to get better. But when you do things well, you fucking do them well. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I can see that.
The feedback you get is the grade, right? Like, I see the grade at the end of each level of both of those, but nothing ever tells me, like, hey, you're just hitting Y a whole bunch of times. You know what I mean? Like, nothing ever, and I don't know the punctuation in which I need to do these attacks. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
I mean,
is it X, Y, Y, X, or is it X, Y, Y, X?
I mean, there is a whole, like, training room in Devil May Cry where you can try out everything.
Yeah.
Like, even stuff that you don't even have yet. So if you want to purchase a skill, you don't have to be married to the idea of it. You can actually just test it out. They don't exactly tell you the buttons you're hitting like a fighting game would.
No, but
which I think it kind of needs that. But
that was
the
the thing in
time,
Bayonetta that was cool.
Yeah.
Like, the loading screens were you trying out the moves and it showing you on the screen the rhythm in which you had to do it, which was like, oh, cool. Now I can go into this level and feel good about it.
But it was just like, hey, you just do what you want at your pace. We'll just kind of let you figure it out until you feel like you got it.
Yeah.
I mean, it does lack a little indicator, but I think it's cool that it does just give you that freedom.
No, but they're
try everything
super
without penalty.
They're both super fun. I think Astral Chain did some cool things with the chain itself, like being able to wrap your companion or prisoner around your opponent to trap it and then use that, like the slingshot things, like a lot of cool mechanics with Astral Chain's chain were really neat in your buddy system. And it felt good to play Astral Chain too. Like when you got into a rhythm, just like Devil May Cry, like when you get going and you can build up a cool combo, it just feels badass.
Yeah, the combos felt limited in Astral Chain.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah.
I mean, it is cool pulling it off, but there's only so much I guess you can do in terms of like building your own custom combos.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a little more freedom with Devil May Cry.
Yeah, because you can also like weapon switch in the middle of that and chain things together that way.
I mean, depending on the character too, right? Like each character has their own play style.
Yeah. Yeah, which
Nero's is very simple. But, like, you have, the sword that has a motorcycle handle, so you can rev it up, and you can have those charged hits ready. So you have, like, 3 strong strikes with something. You can, he has this revolver. You can just hold it in charge, and if you upgrade it, it does more damage and for longer. It stuns the enemies for longer instead of just spamming a shoot button. So you can shoot all the bullets at once, basically. And then you have his arm. And there's so many different types of, they're called devil breakers. There's so many different devil breakers that do different things. Like one is literally just this big like whip, kind of like a threaded cane type of issue. You have my favorite, which is called Punchline, where you can fucking ride it like a hoverboard.
Yeah.
And just fly around and do like a kickflip with it. There's one that just makes you stronger all around. There's one that if you charge up all the way, it shoots like a Mega Man Buster Cannon. Mega Man's Buster Cannon is DLC you can have in this game.
Yeah.
That's just him. And then you have V, who has the different animal demons. You control, like each button is a dedicated demon to each button, and then you can just combo all that together. One's range, one's more melee. And then Dante, king of it all.
Yeah.
He has 4 styles, each assigned to a different part on the D-pad, and then all the shoulder buttons you can switch between your melee. You can have equipped the 2 melee and 2 range weapons at one time, and you can just choose a switch between that while switching what style is appropriate for that weapon.
Yeah. And
that changes how so there's so many combinations you can do. It's insane.
So nothing feels better than ripping a chunk of something out of the wall or the ground and fucking telekinetically hucking it at somebody. But nothing feels worse than fucking shooting a gun in Control. Fuck, that never felt good. I always wanted to
I'm the exact opposite of you.
Oh, I hated shooting in that game. it felt great to do any of the like... And the flying felt great in that game, but anything with that gun, I could give a fuck about. It just felt...
Oh, I didn't mind the gun.
I just felt boring.
Shatter all the way.
Yeah, I'm not going to say like it's the best shooting I've ever played in my life, but it definitely is not bad. I mean, I liked it.
I
used it
wish
a
that
lot.
they had just. I wish at the beginning her gun would have jammed and they would have been like, "That sucks. You're gonna have to rely on your telekinesis," and then you got better like powers. That would have been way better to me than like just shoehorning in the third-person shooter stuff with a gun.
But I guess because of the energy meter, you needed something to rely on while that was cooling down. So they gave you a gun with infinite ammo, basically.
Yeah, but get rid of the energy meter then. Like, I don't know. Like, I didn't like. I just didn't. The gunplay felt bad to me. Every time I had to shoot a gun at somebody, I was just like.
My main guns were Scatter and Pierce. And Pierce was for my boss fights.
Yeah, Pierce. Yeah.
Charge up all the way, just get that shot in. Shotgun. The Scatter is just a shotgun, so I'm just in love with that. That took care of everything for me.
It was good, but like even that at its best, it was not anywhere close to the feeling of like picking a chunk of something and throwing it. Like,
yeah, that's true.
That was just great. Or like finding whatever's in the environment, like a fire hydrant or a drawer or whatever, and just throwing it at somebody. Like that felt great always.
Yeah.
Where sometimes the gun failed. Sometimes the gun, I'm like, ugh, shit. You know what I mean? Like,
and I guess your modifications depend on that too.
Yeah, but it just like. I think that the consistency of telekinetic shit was just fucking cool, man.
Yeah. I mean, it was cool to have an original weapon like that as to just a typical gun.
Yeah,
with
no,
ammunition
I
you have to keep,
totally like that part of it.
picking up and whatnot.
I just didn't care for the shooting part of it. What else we got? What didn't we talk about yet?
Session.
Bloodstained.
Oh, man. All right. Session. Nothing is as cool as Session to me. I know it's not doing any favors in this room. Did you guys try it?
No.
No.
Fuck, dude.
It's not to buy it.
It's so good. Just buy it. Just go buy the game.
No.
It's just a damn good game. It does. I don't know, man. It finally legitimizes skateboarding on a controller. Like, Tony Hawk is Tony Hawk because it's simple and easy and whatever. Skate, like, agitated the part of your brain that understood how to play a skateboarding game because it was so disruptive to what your hands already knew and understood. And then this says, yo, Skate, you're a baby's game. Get the fuck out of here. You don't know how to skateboard, Skate. It just... So if you haven't played Session, the game, the actual, you're holding a controller... The right stick is your right foot, and the left stick is your left foot. There's no pull left to turn. If you want to like lean your body to turn on a skateboard, you have to lean your body. On the game, you have to pull left trigger or right trigger to lean left or right. And then to do any of the tricks, it's use your right stick and use your left stick, aka your right foot and your left foot. And you have to think of it like you would skateboarding in real life with, if you're going to do a kickflip, you need to pull down on the right stick or push back on your right foot and then flick up with your left foot or left stick up and away so that the board, it all flows and works that way. This is just like, fuck, dude. It wasn't so much that I think they nailed the control scheme. And this, I remember when they first announced this, I was like, why the fuck would you do this? You guys made Skate. Just do that again. And now I'm like, oh, how wrong you were, Joe. How wrong you were, you fool. It really, really works well. And I think it was the first time playing something that I felt like I felt learning how to skateboard, because I had to learn how to skateboard in Session. And now that I know how to skateboard in Session, I still don't know how to skateboard in real life, but I understand it better, right? And I feel fucking like empowered as I skate through this world. And I'm like, ooh, can I do this? And I go for it, and you land it. And, like, when you land something in Tony Hawk, it's because you snap to it. When you land something in Skate, it's mostly you, but there's a little bit of help. There's no fucking help. This is just fucking raw skateboarding. If you clip the rail at the wrong side, if your trucks hang on a ledge, like, you're eating shit. You just don't have to bleed from it, right? Or lose any teeth. Where in real life you probably do. But yeah, this one just, it feels like skateboarding does. And it makes you, that's the important part, is you walk out of it feeling a sense of accomplishment like you just landed the trick yourself. Like, the first time I pulled off, like, a fucking nose slide in this felt like when I did a nose slide for the first time in real life. Which is like, you see it, you see people do it, and you're like, I could never do that. And when you do it, you're like, fuck, I did it! And then in this game too, you have that same sense of like, can I do a blunt slide? You know, like, I don't know. And you go for it. And you're like, holy shit, did you see that? You know, and at any time you can just hit pause. It's always kind of capturing the last X amount of minutes or whatever. So you can be like, did you see that? Well, you didn't see that? Check it. Watch, I'm going to show you. And you can export that file badly. That's a clunky system. But, you know, early access is a thing.
2 questions.
Hi.
How do you control the camera?
Shit, that's a great question.
Is it like trigger based, or is it just kind of like an automatic like, scripted camera? It's automatically behind you always. Yeah, sorry, it's behind you always. You can only change how close it is to you, and you do that through the settings menu. So you choose like near, close, far, or whatever the fuck. When you're doing your if you rewind and you're capturing your skate footage, at that point you can freely move the camera anywhere. You can go upside down. You can do all sorts of weird shit in the replay capture. But in terms of like skating, you have a few options and you set it and forget it. And so it never gets obstructive. Like nothing gets in the way.
I mean, it's early access, so those things aside, no.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like occasional weird clipping or shit like that, which honestly has the only thing I'm still experiencing, which is a bummer, but it's like ghosting effects, but nothing that's like.
Okay.
Yeah.
Second question. Is there a move list?
Yes. Yes.
I mean, I'm only asking for like if somebody were to jump into this game and they don't have like a skateboarding background.
Yeah.
You know, like,
no.
how would they know like what tricks?
Yeah. Well, even besides that, because sometimes I'm like, well, do I pull down and spin, or do I? You know what I mean? Like, do I Hadouken this? And yeah, there is that. I just forget how it does it. I haven't looked at it in a really long time.
Okay.
But there is something in there, and it's oh gosh, I don't remember if it's straight up like skate or not, but there is a thing in there. Let's see if I can pull it up. Nope.
Because I was gonna say, like, if it didn't have something like that, it would feel a little daunting just to like constantly keep screwing up without knowing what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, no, you can get that because there is one now that because I remember when I was trying to do a blunt slide, it was showing you to do something and like push your sticks together, and I was just like, all right, and I kept fucking it up, and I was like, what am I doing? Like I remember that feeling of like, how would you get your feet to like where you know what I mean? You're kind of thinking it through, which that's the cool thing because you can logically think it through and figure it out. Where some of the stuff in skate, I never felt like I could logically figure out. But yeah, there is a move list that I think it just has like the analog sticks with arrows in directions or whatever.
That's cool.
But yeah, that session, Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. I don't think this is going to end up hanging on the list, sadly, but. Bloodstained, I feel they did a great job with weapon variety and how those weapons change you, the player, whether you're more offensive or defensive, whether you're close range or long range. They added a fucking gun to a Castlevania game. If you want to shoot a gun, you can shoot a fucking gun. But the big change here is the shard system. Which has kind of been in a way has been in other Castlevania games that Iga did, Koji Igarashi, but weird stuff. So yeah, I've been rattling this one around in my head whether or not I want to spoil it for y'all. But one cool thing, I don't know if it's worth.
I don't care.
I know, but it's fucking cool.
I mean,
This is game of the year. You can spoil shit.
I know. All right, you know the big hook about Symphony of the Night, right?
Yeah.
Right? Castle goes upside down.
Oh, shit, what?
I know, right? All right, Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. About halfway through the game, you get a shard called Invert. And you hit down, up, and jump, and Miriam goes, Invert! And the whole castle just turns upside down, and then there it is. And you're fucking upside down. And it's fucking cool. Because then it's like, just like when the inverted castle happens, you're like, oh my god, I can reach that now, and I can do this now.
So you just flip the castle at any point?
Flip the castle at any point, which is it. because that's the thing. It got the thing out of the way. Because in your head the whole time you're like, okay, is it going to do the thing? And then like it does the thing, but it doesn't do the thing, but it does the thing.
Is it really you flipping the castle, or is the camera just moving to where it's really just Miriam just going upside down? I mean, so like, do all the enemies like fall to the ceiling now?
No.
So
yeah.
So it's really just you going upside down.
She goes upside down.
She's inverting herself.
And what's great is
camera makes
you
it
can
look like you're
totally cheese some boss fights that way. Not all of them.
Yeah.
Some of them are smart to the fact that you're on the ceiling, and they use attacks that try and pull you back down. But yeah, it's fucking good, man. You get some really cool jumps in that game that like just change movement in that. I beat a shinobi in a race and stole his shard that lets you run fast by holding R1. And then I went back, and because I had a shard that I had to work for to kind of make me faster, well, now I had it equipped to just make me fast by default, like make me do this like cool sprint. I used it to beat him again, because the more shards you get, the higher the power stacks. So then I'm just fuck. And I should mention, actually, this might actually win best gameplay now that I mentioned this. I forgot. The color that kind of, glows around you as you're running, blue. So you basically just become Sonic the Hedgehog in this game as you run.
Are your arms behind your back?
Yeah, and you have a headband and blonde hair.
I'll do us all a favor and just delete that game off the list.
Just delete everything from the list except for Bloodstained. No, but it was like, that was the question. I mean, there's so many questions about this game before it came out. Like, because there's such a huge legacy with Castlevania and Koji Igarashi, what does Bloodstained Ritual of the Night do that those games didn't? And I think it just combines all those elements in a way that streamlines it and gives you the ability to play through the game like you want. I think that's something that Symphony of the Night did really well, where there were so many weird hidden options. The secret boots that let you discreetly increase your height by a pixel. There's the chrysogram, if you find it, that just totally changes how you play that game. There's the shield rod in that game that if you do the right spells or whatever, you can make a cow appear. Like, just what the fuck? And there's all of that in here. Like, everything has a weird thing about it, and an intention for it. No one's gameplay is going to be the same, because you might use the heretical grinder to just fucking... the heretical grinder's like this... imagine a hairbrush that was made out of spikes, and when you extended it, it spun around.
Okay.
And when I say hairbrush, I mean like a giant one that, is like your height. You can use that and just attack people with. Or you can turn into a succubus and... what the fuck? Like, there's so many different shards. There's stuff where you can make a monkey follow you around. There's stuff where you can make paintings float around you and attack for you like a shield, or block attacks for you. There's stuff where you can shoot a stream of water or a stream of fire or push people like the wind.
And to mention, like, the more shards you get of that same...
They get stronger, or they might get. You might be able to shoot 2 fireballs instead of 1 fireball. Those types of things. Like, there's all sorts of crazy. There's hundreds of shards or something like. I don't know the exact number, but there's just so many. I don't know. That's a hard one to cut for me too. But did we hit everything on this list so far? We did.
Yes, sir.
All right. What is the weakest link here? They're all so good, man. Can we just give it to all of them?
It's like...
No.
All right.
It's like some are good, some are unique.
Yes. All right, so best gameplay, right? That's the name of the category. What is the best game to play? I fucking love Session, but I don't think that is easy for anyone to get into. In fact, like, I had to fight with it for a while, and you know what I mean? Like, it's not a pick up and go and get it, but when you get it, oh boy, you get it. Shit. I don't know. Bloodstained is great for the variety. I'm going to cut Astral Chain, because what Astral Chain does, Devil May Cry 5 does better. It's just hard to say, but you know what I mean? Astral Chain does different things.
It does do different things,
but yeah. What else?
What seems more approachable to you guys, like Star Wars or Sekiro? Well, not sorry. What, like, I don't like between those two. Because there's such similar games in many ways.
I don't know. It's gonna feel biased. I'm more inclined to play Sekiro because I just don't care about Star Wars that much.
Same, but also I feel like Star Wars is like, I don't know. The grappling hook in Sekiro seems more cool to me.
This is something that I never got that feeling. I only got it once, and it was the final boss fight. But it's something about a From Software game, and just even defeating like the first minion that comes your way, and you're like, I killed it.
Yeah.
I'm not dead yet. I'm not dead yet. I'm gonna die 100 times in this game, but I'm not dead yet.
All right.
I think there's just something gratifying when you just beat that boss that has beat you down like 18 times in a row, and it's never the game's fault.
No, it's always yours. That's the thing, and the cool thing about Sekiro, I like right around Thanksgiving, there was like a live stream on Giant Bomb that I was watching, and they're playing Sekiro, and just watching it, I was like, oh, fuck, I want to play that again. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't get far in that game. I'm not good at that game, but just seeing it, it was like, I know that I can do this, and you fucking can't do it. But it feels like you, but it gives you everything, right? Like it's all right there, especially. You know, Bloodborne had different things, and I never played Dark Souls, but that had the shield. Like, there's things there's elements to it. Like, Sekiro was like, nah, dude, you just gotta use your sword and get the fuck out of the way.
Timing is everything in that game. Yeah, I like Star Wars, like, you know, running around and, you know, using your force powers and stuff, but I never got that sense of gratification, and when I beat, like, this I forget his name.
Yeah.
But like I beat that dude on top of that roof. Yeah. Oh, God.
Look, man, it got nominated, right? All these got nominated because they're really fucking good games.
Where's Resident Evil 2 on this list?
Yeah, it says everything about Resident Evil 2, doesn't it? I think Resident Evil 2 had great gameplay, and I think it felt great to be
okay. All right,
right, but I don't.
I didn't play it, so I didn't nominate it.
I mean, it wasn't much different from like 4 or 5.
All right. I was just
it definitely feels better,
something.
right?
Oh, it's smooth as fuck.
Yeah,
I do enjoy it, but it didn't stand out to me. Yeah. And if I was to nick it a point for anything, it's when you get one of those disposable knives. Why do they not stab them in the head?
I know. Just do it.
It's always in the chest. Like, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Like,
I wanted you to stab in the head, so if I thought of it, you could have thought of it in the moment.
No, so when they're down, I gotta knife them.
Right.
And cut off all their limbs.
Yeah.
And that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I do like that.
I forgot about that.
Why isn't that on? No.
I know. All right, we're trimming some shit down. What do you got? Mark, you look at this list, what's the first thing where you're like, nuh-uh?
You can cut Judgment off.
That's the first one that you see on here that's like, nuh-uh? You're sure?
I mean,
I'm not fighting you on it, I'm just saying.
I just think compared to what is on here in terms of combat, at least out of Sekiro, Devil May Cry, and this one is what I'm mostly comparing them to. This one probably falls the shortest of the bunch.
All right.
I mean, it's flashy and cool, but like...
All right. Matt, what's the one on here you're like, nuh-uh?
It's Bloodstained, but I think it's because of my ignorance. Like, from afar, right, it looks like...
Yeah.
Well, it's another one of those.
And it is another one of those. For me, it's just that variety. You know? Like, and the choice and the options.
Yeah.
But it is... Hit square a bunch of times until something's dead, you know? Hit triangle to call up a thing. Hit R1 to use another thing, and you know what I mean? Like...
Yeah, but I mean, you can say this about a bunch of these games on that list, right? Like, Sekiro, like, you... mash L1 until you get that parry, and square you get that fucking death blow and spray blood across the.
It's pretty cool.
Even Devil May Cry, you mash Y a lot.
Yeah, I know.
But it's how you mash Y.
That's true. All right. Well, the good news is we only have to cut this list in half. So
should we go?
Let's look at the strongest.
Yeah, that's perfect.
What do you think?
I am at a toss-up between the games I have played on this list between Control and Sekiro.
The one thing I want to say about Control that I really like is, if there is a situation where you don't want to rely on the gun as much, it does take some going out of the way to enhance that skill tree. So I guess that plays a lot of this. It plays a factor, but like I love that your shield eventually becomes a projectile.
Mm-hmm.
So you just keep blocking shots and then just launch that at somebody, and then quickly launch something with, just keep spamming that launch button, or like flying. Once you get that all the way, that feels so good.
Yeah.
And then you can land with that like iconic like superhero landing that is like a ground pound and sends a wave. I mean, that depletes all your energy for a little bit, but like if you land down on somebody, it's almost instant kill more times than not. It's just a blood mist.
No, the superpowers in that game feel fucking great. Boy.
Like it is simple, but I think that works in its favor in terms of like combining everything that you between maneuvering, psychic battling, and gunplay. It does just enough in each department to where they kind of keep you on your toes at all times. They want you to use every element that you can, especially later in the game. I don't know if enemy variety counts in this whole gameplay thing.
I mean, we might have to start nitpicking.
Well, yeah. So I think we can cut Ring Fit. Right?
It's creative.
The most unique on this list, I'll say that.
Does it make the list? Like, do you feel like that should be top 3 out of what we've got?
I mean, I don't care for it, but that's just because I don't want to play that game.
I mean, I guess that's right. I mean, like that's more of. I mean, I don't know how to describe it. Like,
all right, so I'm thinking about it like this now. Like, I have a hard time talking to a friend and be like, dude, fucking Sekiro is nuts. Also, Ring Fit Avenger is fucking nuts.
But it is, man. I'll fucking talk to your friend and tell him. Like, you fucking tell him to call me up. Ah, shit. I don't know, man.
All right, from the 5 that are games, we have to at least cut 2 of them, so...
They're all games.
All right, but you know what I mean in the traditional sense.
Yeah.
I mean, Ring Fit is kind of disguised as a game. Like, it is a workout.
Yeah.
Like that's.
I mean, it's a game. It's just a motion control based game, and just happens that you're using a.
And I think in this day and age,
ring.
it's not often now we have a lot of motion control that's not VR.
You know what? Honestly.
So, I mean, it's kind of...
I love Session and I love Bloodstained, but I'd cut them both and leave Ring Fit on the list. When it comes down to it.
Really?
Just in terms of, like, doing something different and, like... Which I think you could argue the same. You could definitely argue the same for Session, but, like...
But, like, they built a whole peripheral.
Yeah. And it feels good to use. Like, it doesn't feel bad. It feels, like, normal, where sometimes the Wii Fit stuff, you felt, like, hampered by the Wii remotes, or you felt like... I know I'm standing in the right spot even though this thing thinks I'm not, or whatever. Yeah.
I mean,
unless either you feel like Session or Bloodstained should absolutely be on this list.
I played very little Bloodstained, but
I'd say I didn't touch really either one.
It's a solid Castlevania game.
I'll cut Bloodstained first. Session. Of what you've heard me talk about, do you think that should be on best gameplay?
I commend it for its uniqueness in terms of how to accurately maneuver a skateboard. I'm not sure if I can speak for anything else outside of that. Because that's
What's
all
like the objective? Like, is it just you just skating around?
You're just fucking skating, dude.
It lives to the name. It's just having a session.
That's it. It's literally it. Like, you just go. There are daily objectives you can do that, whatever, but like.
But like
just
you're not
skating.
out looking for the secret tape out,
No, there's none of that. There's no like level objectives. It's literally just one map. I mean, you can modify the map and add pieces to it, but like it's just the one. It literally is.
It's all about just honing that craft.
It is me calling Ben or Ben calling me and going, "Dude, meet me at Hollywood Video," and it's that I put on fucking.
That's my thing. It's like preventing me from like playing. It's like there's just not like.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta want to just go skateboard, but if you don't want to go skateboard, this is not for you. But it,
I mean, I'd fuck with it.
Yeah,
I mean, didn't I play that very early?
Yeah, that one that felt real weird, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's totally like I put on an iTunes playlist and I just fucking do it, or play an album and just fucking go skate.
I mean, if we're gonna talk in terms of uniqueness compared between Ring Fit and Session, Ring Fit definitely stands above that. It just has the solidarity behind it.
I also can't believe that thing works as well as it does. You say like, yeah, you have a hiccup like maybe once a day, but I expected a lot more hiccups than just once a day.
Yeah, no, it's good. I even realized that one of the earlier hiccups I thought was happening is because I thought you were supposed to go straight up with it. You're actually supposed to go up and put it parallel to the ground over your head, and I wasn't doing that. So, but you know what I mean? Like even the times where it was me, it wasn't the thing. All right, well, hold on. Before I cut Session, is Sekiro for sure on the list?
I would say yes, but
I mean, I'm okay with it being on there.
Is Devil May Cry 5 for sure on the list?
I want to say yes. If this game is
from
anything
what's
going for it.
left, yeah.
Like, where do you guys... I feel like you guys both see this as Sekiro, Devil May Cry 5, and Control.
Yeah. But I think my biggest problem is I haven't played Session or Ring Fit to truly appreciate what they are. And I think my ignorance is showing when I say... I'm just going to say, I think Sekiro is my winner in this. I'm up for arguments for Control, but then a little bit I'll play Devil May Cry. Like I will want to go back and play Devil May Cry. Session, yeah, maybe I'll play for an hour, but like there's nothing keeping me there. Like there's not a
no, but we're not talking about best game. We're talking about best gameplay.
Exactly. So like that's
you know what I mean? Like it's not necessarily this part is like the part where it's like
you know what? It's weird, man. This is where I'm gonna make it more personal in my head, like more about me, I guess. Devil May Cry is, in general, is just always about gameplay. It's always been known to be crazy about it, and I love it for that. But I can't deny my feelings towards, like, about halfway, latter half of this game, where I only wanted to be one character.
Yeah,
I started having a preference.
Yeah,
like I wanted to be Nero because I enjoyed the simplicity.
Yeah, I wanted to be V because I liked being able to like
Dante is awesome.
Yeah,
I love that character. I loved all the different crazy styles you can do, all the different combinations.
But again, I never felt competent. That's not my type. Dante. Yeah.
I like the very basic thing, and maneuvering throughout or traversing throughout the game. I mean, it's. I don't want to criticize it, really, because it's not really like a big part of that game. But I feel like Control all around just felt good to kind of do everything. Like just running around, flying around, climbing. I mean, fighting was there, but I mean, not as crazy as Devil May Cry.
Yeah.
But I think overall, I had a better feeling with Control for longer.
Yeah, as long as you don't say navigating Control, I think you're fine.
No, I mean, like...
Yeah, I'm trying really hard to keep those two things separate.
I mean, like, bringing up the map is stupid because the game goes 10 frames a second.
Yeah.
On console.
Yeah, on console. But, yeah, I mean, that's the only thing I can have... That's the only thing I can give Control above Devil May Cry was that, like... I was never mad or, like, annoyed with the controlling of the game.
In Control?
Yeah. Like Devil May Cry, there's some issues, if you can't string a good combo together because you just got to get good, I guess. Or what, I don't know. It's tough. Like Devil May Cry is so good in one field, and I think Control had a better balance.
I feel like that's the thing with Session is like there is no game without the gameplay in Session, and it fully is that. And
but I'm okay with sacrificing Control, oddly enough.
Yeah, something about Devil May Cry not being on the list feels weird.
Yeah.
All right, so if Devil May Cry makes the list here,
I mean, Devil May Cry does have better gunplay than Control. I had two rocket launchers at once, and then together I could combine them into one strong shot.
Yeah.
I can't deny that.
Yeah.
Compared to a service weapon,
Yeah.
I don't know. That was pretty cool.
All right. You make
so
that control.
All right.
Baseline, please. Do.
I think Session is the one that stays.
And cut ring fit.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. I think Session's got it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Your Session had the balls that all right, skate.
Yeah, and
Fuck
people
you.
literally like people buying the game and then immediately reviewing the game, being like the controls are weird, and the developers being like, yeah, they're fucking supposed to.
Like to me, this game is read as the word session. I think to Joe it's read as the word passion.
No.
And I no. But I know. I see that.
Yeah.
I feel it. Like I can hear that being put into this game. Like if any of these are going to have passion put into it, I feel like Session is that one, and it's just early access, and it's already trying to
that's the
hone that craft. Like, that's what it's all about.
Because the game
Ring Fit, you're not gonna get that.
Yeah, no.
Because that's all about just being healthy. There's nothing wrong with that, but in terms of a game, I think Session's a stronger contender.
All right. Well, which is the strongest contender?
I feel like Sekiro is probably the highest.
I'm not a fan personally of the genre of like the hack and slash action thing of it. And that's why I'm going to say Sekiro. The little bit I played of Devil May Cry was awesome.
Devil May Cry is like being in your backyard with your favorite action figure, and you're just going to town on what you want to beat the shit out of with your favorite hero, and you just get to love it. Sekiro is like you have a friend who's playing as one of these enemies, so you just can't do what you want. You gotta
play to the rules.
Yeah.
I think one of the things though that attracts me to
fine-tuned.
Devil May Cry so much is style, that soundtrack, like the pieces around it.
I agree.
But
that's not necessarily game, right? Like
it's not gameplay. But what I'm saying is, if you strip that out of it, like me just hitting Y, I know, and I know I did not get far in a game, but like me just hitting Y and timing those, I just like the patience of methodically thinking, like, all right, when can I time the parry? Yeah. And then, when you get into these boss fights, is in the 13th time when you die in this boss fight, it's like,
and this
all
is
right, here we go.
And this is another developer where they're fine tuning their craft of combat, and it's in such a different way.
And I think I honestly do think it's the next evolution from Dark Souls 3 or Bloodborne or it's still the same kind of core thing, right? Like there's some kind of parry or something, but in Dark Souls is a shield. Bloodborne, you have the gun, and this is just your sword and you deflecting it at the right time.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I got Session in the top 3. I fucking love that game. Best gameplay: Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice, Session, and Devil May Cry 5 are your runners up. We did it. We spent an hour on gameplay. Rightfully so. I mean, that's a man. I mean, all the nominees, honestly, they were. This is the first category where I felt like things really mattered on that list. Like things.
Yeah,
were,
this is up there with story.
Yeah, it just
Oh shit! I forgot to put gears. Sorry.
Yeah. Drive that skipper,
skiff,
hand boy. Best DLC or expansion is our next category, and your nominees are Destiny 2, Shadowkeep, Rocket League, Radical Summer, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Halo: The Master Chief Collection.
I kind of wanted to laugh at Halo for a second.
But think about it.
I mean, not in a bad way. Just, I don't know.
It got Reach, and it got Reach remastered and got upgraded and overhauled. Like they're continuing to add.
That's just what I think is funny. They just added another game, just prettied it up, and.
But I think the other side of it too is
they added more than.
All right,
that.
but here's the thing, though, right? That's permanent. Rocket Leagues was an event. That's the thing. Some of the items stuck around, right?
Sure.
But those extra game modes, like the Ghostbusters and stuff like that, not care anymore.
But looking at 2019's best DLC, right? Like just like a thing that came out this year, like what is Radical Summer up there or the Stranger Things thing?
I liked it. But I just kind of wish. I mean, I understand when they take the game modes away for to help player base, and also like when they come back out, it matters. I don't know, like Shadowkeep, a whole new campaign. Smash, you're getting brand new characters that change the meta or the way you play that game. And then Halo, did add an old game essentially, right? But
no, I mean I like that. I just think it's funny. I don't know.
Reach is probably like me personally. I don't have much attachment to Reach, but Reach is critically acclaimed by like almost everyone.
Yeah.
And it's like a lot of people's favorite Halo game too. So
I'm looking at this like this is a weird list though, because it's like Smash. Is it one character or is it the Fighters Pass 1 is our award, or
probably the Fighters Pass as a whole? Like,
right.
That's the way I see it.
That's the way I saw it too. But is there a fighter that we liked?
See that I was about to say. Like my take on this, I think the majority of people, I mean, they'll probably like, speak for your fucking self, but I think we love the hype around it more than the content itself.
Bingo.
Totally.
Because I love the hype, I love the trailers and the breakdown, but once I get the character, I download it, my Switch, and I'm like, yeah, that was cool.
I do that too, but I do find that I'm going.
It's like I'm taking it for granted.
1,000%. But I do find that I do go back to them. Like after Hero got announced, I like watched that whole breakdown and I was like, holy shit, this is intense. I tried it.
I played as him the most, I think.
Yeah, and I tried him and I was like, this is fucking weird and cool and whatever, and that was it. But then I kept going back to him, and I kept, as part of Hero being added was the all the heroes added in the fighters added have the spirit boards that are like unique to their games and shit, and those I kept going back to like unlock the stickers and see what those things were.
I haven't been doing any of that.
Like I think that stuff's really fun. I've been doing that for the Joker stuff because now going through Persona 5 a little bit, I'm like intrigued by that world.
Yeah. But this is probably cool for a lot of people that are more centric to that game, where like maybe if they do events every weekend or like tournaments or whatnot, you have these newer characters to keep experimenting with.
Yeah.
So I mean, I do see that.
NHL 20 Snoop Dogg, right?
But right, I forgot about that one. You might be right. Does this go to Destiny? Here's the thing.
I didn't play the Reach campaign yet on MCC, so it could be completely broken, and I don't know it yet.
Halo might be my top vote.
I want to say Halo.
I mean, because it did more than just add the game.
Yeah.
There's that whole like ranking thing. There's the all the Forge content they brought over.
Bitches and cross save.
Yeah. But Shadowkeep. I don't know. Shadowkeep did a lot of stuff for like.
You're gonna give me 2 Bungie games. I'm gonna pick the one that's.
I know.
Not Destiny.
So here's the thing. I'll say this and I'll shut up about Destiny. But the power level stuff kind of balanced out a little bit. Like they got it to a point where they start everybody at the same now, and I forget what that same is. I think it's 750 or something like that. I don't remember. The cap, the soft cap was 900. The hard cap was 950. Then they added with the newest season, the hard cap only went up by 10 points to 960, which is just so much more attainable, so much easier.
But this is the first content too that Bungie did solely, right?
Right.
So I mean that's a big deal.
Yeah, and I think that was cool. I think the story of Shadowkeep is the coolest fucking story they've had so far. Like all the weird creepy shit on the moon and the Eris Morn stuff and all of that.
Yeah, all the designs that you've shown me, I thought looked really cool.
Yeah.
Like I was half tempted.
I know.
I was like,
you could.
Yeah, that's cool.
Shit, you have tempted him.
I know.
But I didn't.
Now, but now, like with Shadowkeep, now like this newest season, right? Because they're now doing seasons. I mean, they've always kind of done that, but now they're really leaning into it. The newest one, there's this like long lost Titan, Saint 14, I think his name is, and he was always hinted at in the lore, but now there's a thing, and we're gonna find his helmet, and then you unlock the new. That was the cool thing too. So they added the finisher moves in this game, and remember when it came out, I didn't really love it because it was like you did it, but it was the same canned animation over and over again, and well, now you can set up a playlist of them with this newest season. You set up a playlist, and when you hit it, it just randomly pulls one that you like and does it. And one of those new finishers is this guy's trademarked thing, which in Destiny 1 was only ever in the Grimoire cards. You had to read about it, but everyone hypothesized what it might look like.
When you say trademarked, what do you mean?
Both.
Okay.
This guy just does a fucking headbutt, and everyone was like, everyone who would talk about Saint 14 was like, oh, he just headbutts people. And like, all right, cool, but you didn't actually see that, right? He wasn't actually in the game. Yeah, no, he was in the game, but if you read the lore, it's like, yeah, I'm not reading the fucking lore. Well, now he's fucking in the game, and you get his fucking headbutt, and you can use it as a finisher. Just dumb shit where they're pulling in weird things from lore cards and making it a real thing in the game is cool as that game continues to just grow. But
I think you... All right, I think you swayed me.
I just feel like Matt doesn't care about Rocket League, so I'm cool cutting that one. And
No, Destiny seems the most... what's the word? In depth? In
yes,
terms of content?
but also...
You're lucky I haven't played as new Dota 2 heroes yet.
Yeah. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is also building like the biggest crossover, craziest homage of characters ever.
Yeah.
Like there's something to be said.
And you're not going to get this again, probably.
Ever. In anything, right? Like, unless you're playing fucking Mugen.
Right.
Or Project Cross Zone that doesn't exist, right? It just, like, this is fucking crazy. Like, what is the game where you can stand next to, you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, yeah, like the Fighter Pass does show that like anything is possible.
Dude,
like
everyone
nobody
is
expected Joker
no.
of all things. We're thinking older, right? He's throwing newer ones in there.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh,
yeah.
okay.
And then also Terry Bogard, because no one gives a fuck about SNK. But here you go.
Yeah,
right?
Ken too.
Yeah.
No, I mean that's cool. I mean Banjo, like again, we had to acknowledge that like, everybody lost their shit when that happened.
Yeah.
Nobody lost their shit over Shadowkeep. I like on that scale.
Not on that scale.
On that scale.
But boy, did they. I'll tell you what.
No, yeah, I mean that.
I shut down for a day.
And I think the I don't want to say the devil's in the details. I want to say the sweetness is in the details for Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
Because it's not just a character. It's how they're designed. It's how they're moved. It's how like everything is so well thought out and so of a love letter, of a culmination of their legacy or history in trying to translate that into a fighter. I mean, and the fact that he just wants to keep going. I don't know. It's crazy.
Who do we give it to?
I don't know now. I like
Give
them
it
all.
Destiny 2.
Yeah?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, we have 3, right?
Yeah.
So
I feel best about Destiny 2 as like just a whole complete package right now. I mean, I love Smash, but
yeah, but for all we know, this 5th fighter is probably something we don't give a shit about, and then it's gonna be like, oh well,
kayfabe. Just gotta shout.
Oh
that
yeah,
out.
whoops, sorry, Kevin Federline.
Yeah. All right, best DLC or expansion: Destiny 2 Shadowkeep, with runners-up Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and Halo: The Master Chief Collection. We're gonna take a quick break, and when we come back, we've got favorite in-game moment to debate, and we've got some nominees. We'll be right back. Welcome back. It is time for a favorite in-game moment. As we move into our third category of the day, your nominees for the Free Cheats Favorite in-Game Moment 2019. This is, of course, going to be a spoiler-heavy conversation. Crossing the tar to get to Edge Knot City in Death Stranding. Nero versus Virgil in Devil May Cry 5. The Ashtray Maze in Control. Darth Vader attempts to stop your escape in Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. The Time Jump in Fire Emblem Three Houses. When the Tyrant first shows up in Resident Evil 2. I think I meant Mr. X.
I was about to ask, like,
What do they call Mr. X? What's the other official term for him?
A tyrant.
is it?
Is
So
it
it's just a tyrant, right?
I thought so.
Yeah.
All right.
Cherry's dad's also.
You're talking about the dude pulled away the helicopter, right?
No, I'm talking about Mr. X. With the hat. Yeah.
When he first shows up.
Yeah.
Oh, like the punch to the wall?
Just like the first time you see him. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Yeah.
I guess it depends on the campaign you play.
I think.
Either way. Satan Overthrow turns out to be an intervention, an after party. Johnny Cage chats with Johnny Cage in Mortal Kombat 11. And threatening to kill the Butcher's family in Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
I'm going to start.
Yes.
MK, one of those ones where I was playing, and the first night I got through that first half.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, Johnny Cage talking about sleeping with Sonya and having a kid. He's like, dude, I get to hit that? And he's like, no, stop. Like, it's that stupid back and forth between two totally different Johnny Cages at that point.
The asshole Johnny Cage and the asshole, but better Johnny Cage.
I was just kind of cackling a little bit when that moment happened.
Yeah.
And Sonya's just like, just looking over at those two.
Yeah, they can't really hear what's happening, just sees the bickering. It was a fun moment.
But no, I think the better moment in that is, spoiler alert, Fire God Liu Kang.
Yeah. That's a badass that Fire God Liu Kang is just...
I gotta see that.
Yeah, it's cool. It's just the way it all like unfolds where you're like, are they gonna... Oh, shit, that's cool. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna bring you back. And like, Liu Kang's dead at this point.
Yep.
Again.
Yep. Again, yeah.
And then Raiden does his punch into Demon or Revenant Liu Kang. They call it Revenant.
Revenant, yeah,
Liu Kang. And then
Grayscale.
he becomes Liu Kang, but with fire and lightning. And his title now just says Fire God Liu Kang.
Yeah, when you play the... Oh, man.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome, though.
We got...
I'm gonna... All right, so... The Call of Duty moment.
Yes.
I think... I nominated it and then looked into all the scenarios that could happen. You can never actually... The illusion of choice is there, but you don't have the choice. No, it's a really good pulse check. So, I didn't talk about it during Favorite Story just because by the time we got there, I knew it was going to be outclassed by everything we had talked about. But it's just morally ambiguous decisions by, your chief U.S. officer and other global politics that are going around. And you start to get to a point, I guess, as a soldier, is man, if I could have just, shot that dude, 10 days ago, we wouldn't be in this situation right now that's 80 times worse than what it was. So it's about all these foot soldiers kind of kind of getting pissed at their orders, the things they can't do, all the politics kind of going around with that. So there's a point where you catch what happens to be a terrorist organization's right-hand man. He goes by the codename The Butcher. And you go to interrogate him, and there's a choice right away where you can either go into the interrogation room or not, and Captain Price is the one that's holding the interrogation. And it's pretty much do you want to play by the rules, or do you not want to play by the rules? And by saying yes to go to the interrogation rules, or to the interrogation room, you're like, all right, we're breaking some chain of command here. That's kind of awesome. So you get in there, and he's all tied up. You've been torturing him. They're trying to get some information out of him. Well, a van shows up. His family is in the van, and you just drag them out. And the Butcher, he starts no, what are you guys doing? No.
Yeah.
Captain Price hands you a gun, and you are forced to, shoot. But when you go to shoot, you just click it it's not loaded.
Okay.
But I was thinking, depending on who you aimed it at or what you did,
that it
would impact. But I aimed at the wall slightly above their heads as a
warning. Yeah.
Talk.
I will pull the fucking trigger.
Talk.
Yeah.
So it clicked, and then the game registered oh, you try to shoot my family, blah blah blah, and it was But then you do get the choice after he talks, after you kind of have threatened, to kill him. To kill the Butcher or leave him.
Oh.
And there's another decision there where you can, waste him or whatever.
Yeah.
I left him to be because he did end up talking. It would have been horrifying for the kids in that room.
Yeah, fuck that. Jesus.
But it's at that point, after, 6 hours of just dealing with weird bureaucratic bullshit.
Yeah.
It's like a morality check of how invested are you in being a soldier or just a mercenary?
Being a human being. Yeah.
But I know like some of this stuff is going to be far better. I'm still doing that rule of like I can still pick 3 above that, so we can cut it.
I feel like our front runner is gonna be the ashtray maze.
Yes.
Just because of how fucking
Yes.
Like,
Both parts, right? The part where you walk in without the key, and you're like, "What the fuck's going on?"
why is this happening?
Yeah.
And
But
then
when
you
you
get
have
the
the key.
and you get the Walkman, and she
Yep.
just walks in, just puts it on. I was like, "Oh, what? This is a new animation." And then the fucking song comes on, and oh my god,
It's almost as good as hearing Devil Trigger.
almost
Yeah.
not
quite.
Wait, not
But
but
if you could play that section with Devil Trigger, then we'd have a new game of the year.
oh my god,
Yeah, I know.
but yeah, just everything this is the one time I will use Inception
Yeah.
and be okay with using that comparison.
Yeah. That's pretty good.
Yeah, holy shit! Like I wish the rest of the game had more stuff like that.
Yeah, the game teased like the changing rooms, but they were always static.
Yeah, it never really did anything. And
Yeah.
that was the one time where it was like, oh, cool.
Things are actually
look at all
moving
that.
around.
Like
Yeah.
anything like that, you kind of had to go like really look for. It wasn't like pivotal or like it wasn't a big part in the story.
Yeah.
So especially with like the final fight, I wish there was more like mindfuckery
Yeah.
with stuff than just
The mindfuckery
floors
was
of
dying
moving.
and checkpointing all the way back. That was
yeah. But man, yeah, that was that in like I guess spoilers for Alan Wake.
Yeah.
They do something similar. But not to this degree. But it is. But it is that same band, Old Gods of Asgard.
Oh.
They come from Alan Wake's universe.
Yeah.
So they're the ones who play the song, and there's just a part where you're just going crazy, just taking care of business.
Badass.
It's like, all right, this is a nice little. That's a Remedy signature
Yeah.
right there.
Darth Vader showing up? Is that fucking cool?
I probably should have seen this coming a mile away,
Yeah.
but when it happened, I was like, "Oh fuck, there's Darth Vader!"
Yeah.
Oh shit! And then like it also came on the heels of like the one actually hard boss fight that I actually had some trouble with. You finally defeat her name is Trilla, but you defeat her, and it was like finally I was like, God, yes, finally I did it. This feels good. And then like knowing that she's probably not the strongest like Sith Lord out there, and I struggled against that. And then here comes Darth Vader. I'm like, oh, I'm fucked.
Yeah.
This is bad. And like you don't even try to fight him. You just everyone's just like run,
Get the fuck out.
run. It's weird though that like they don't know who Darth Vader is. So Seer and Cal are in the room when Darth Vader shows up, and no one knows what he is. And Cal's just like, "Oh, I sense he's strong." It's like, how do you not know who Darth Vader is at this point? He's like the fucking
Didn't you guys see
Emperor's
Star Wars?
well, he's like the Emperor's right hand man. Like you would think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, but it's probably one of those things that a lot of people probably saw coming.
I
I'm
sure some were surprised.
It was just like, oh damn! But finally
Well,
beat
because
that bitch. And then,
that's the thing in a game like this where it's like, oh, it's a Star Wars game, and then all of the check boxes for what you expect of Star Wars haven't been in the game, and then all of a sudden it's like, there's the guy.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
there are some characters from like Rogue One.
Yeah.
well, like,
but
whatever,
even Rogue
but-
One is like, it's still fresh in the right. It's not like the classic. It's not that like.
Yeah, but I was just like when he popped up. No, because there's a shot. It's like real close on this Sith Lord. She like starts choking, like someone's choking her, and like it kind of like pans up, and you see Darth Vader walk into the room. There he is.
That's the guy.
There he is. But besides the little shock factor, it was just cool that like you'd even have a chance to take down Vader. Like it showed. Like, it respected the lore in that way. So
the sequel.
Well, it can, and you can't kill him.
No, but you can try and fight him, right? Then
Yeah.
you can do a thing, and then you can do a
I mean,
thing.
if they killed Cal and did something weird, I'd have some balls to do that.
But you think cut it?
Yeah.
All right. Nero versus Virgil. I know we talked about that one earlier. It's pretty
I know,
badass.
that's my favorite part of the entire game.
It is that fucking moment.
Like he regenerates his arm. He taps into that demon side that he didn't know he had in him all along.
Yeah.
Becomes the strongest out of all of them.
Yep.
And not only that, but like he's trying to end that lifelong battle between his dad and his uncle.
Yeah.
So in order to settle
After just learning that is his dad and his uncle.
right, like so many emotions at once, he's just like had it. but at the same time, I guess he's kind of keeping a level head in a way, right? Because he's like, look, you two are done fighting. If I beat you, like, you're done. And he's like, okay, and then you go to fight him, and the one part where there's like a little moment where he's trying to fight you, and there's like a certain, like, it's kind of not really a cutscene, it's like a little action sequence where you get stabbed with the katana from Virgil, but Nero's like, fuck you, buddy, pulls it out and then stabs him with it, and then just like it's nothing, and just continues to beat the shit out of him.
I don't remember that happening in mine.
It's like a...
Was it like a midway point or something?
Like, it happens every here and there.
Oh.
Like, I don't know how to trigger it exactly, but man, that's just him transforming.
That whole thing, though, just not knowing that you were gonna get to that point, but then you do. I don't know. He was badass.
Yeah, I didn't expect for anything like that to happen with Nero.
No.
And then the transformation is really what, like, had my jaw dropping.
Because he's weird looking.
Because
he's,
like,
what?
But like, he just sticks his middle finger up in the air. He's screaming "fuck you" to him.
Yeah.
And just transforms. And it's like, never have I seen that in a game.
Really
surprisingly, like, I thought that'd be done probably a million times by now. But I don't know. Nero's moment, like, that was a big moment for him. Not just in game, but I guess just as a character in terms of growth.
Yeah. The time jump in Fire Emblem 3 Houses was just, oh my god! You guys, well, you didn't get that far. You didn't play
it.
I don't need to spoil anything, but the thing about that was just cool was, like, the way the story kind of leaves everything, like, everything's kind of fucked up, and you're like, did we win? I don't think. You know what I mean? Like, there's like a big battle that happens, and you're like, oh fuck, I don't know what happened. And then, like, your character kind of fucks off for a little bit, and then there's the time jump, and all the kids, you and your students, had promised that, like, if anything should ever separate you or whatever, you'd all come back to this school 5 years later. So whatever, and 5 years pass, and then it's like, all right, I'm going back. And you go back, and it's all weird, and, like, the town's different, everything's desolate and quiet and kind of destructed a little bit. And you're standing there, and then whichever house leader you had went with just kind of shows up, and you're like, whoa, dude, you're, like, so much older. What the fuck? You know? And then there's, like, people notice that there's, like, shit happening, like, that you're there, basically, because the evil side had taken over so many different areas, and now they notice that you're there, so they're starting to attack. But you're also, all the other students are slowly showing back up because it's been 5 years. So they're showing up, and just seeing them come onto the battlefield one by one, and, like, how they physically transformed, and, like, oh god, some of them, like, that were just, like, you feel like a teacher and students, like, they were your students, and they were like, oh, look at him, he's like front and center, like, he's charging out there, and, like, there was the shy little guy who just sat in the back and never talked, and now here he is, like, leading the charge. Like, you felt like a sense of pride and shit in these characters that, like, you just, you know, mash their button prompts with and stuff. But it was cool, and, like, I think physically seeing their transformations was wild, but also just, like, seeing how their skills developed over the years too, because you may have been training them for bow fighting, and now, like, they're a fucking badass bow fighter or whatever. Like, those things. It had an effect on the game, but also the story, but also, like, how my relationship grew with those characters. And my first playthrough, I didn't do permadeath stuff, but, like, if you're doing permadeath stuff, like, that kind of thing has a huge impact on that. Like, because it just layers that sense of attachment you have with the characters to the point where it's like, oh no, they can't die. Like, nope, I fucking reload my save or turn back time, whatever. Because fuck this, no, he's not dying here, not like that, you know. And it's that was just that, but that jump, that initial just, like, jump, and all of your team is back together, and you're like, holy shit, look at us now, look at how far we've come. That was really cool. I think I cut Mr. X from this. I think that was badass, but I also think that by the time I personally played it, it was fucking already chopped and cut up on fucking Twitter with DMX songs and stuff enough that the impact was kind of lost.
But it's the train.
Yeah, you know.
It is a cool moment. I think the first thing I did was like aim for the head, and I shot off his little hat.
Yeah.
And it gave me an achievement.
Yep.
I was like, oh, I'm gonna run.
Yep.
Like, that's it for that. After a while, though, he kind of overwhelms his stay.
Yeah, I was happy to see him.
And it gets kind of annoying, so I know how to work around the AI.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Run upstairs, hide, wait, listen
Yeah.
outside. Is he okay? He's gone. I can go down a floor. Oh, shit, there he is. Let me go back up and stand still for a little bit. All right, got it.
You just got to shoot to in-cap them for a little while. Or use them to take out other zombies for you. That's also helpful. He just punches them out of the way.
Oh, I didn't do that. That's probably smart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I don't know. He, in terms of, like, moment, I think that...
No, yeah. I mean, yeah, because helicopter crashes into the building, and then he just fucking lifts it up.
Yeah.
He's like, I remember you.
Yeah, no, that was... Because I think that, too. That
10
was
years ago?
impactful, where it's like... You have that thing of, like, even me seeing all those things for 6 months before playing it or whatever, and then you finally sit down and play it. I was like, all right, well, when's he fucking coming, right? You know what I mean? And, like, it happens, and you're like, shit. Do I have time to get this ladder? Oh, my God. Is he? Oh, my God. He's right there. You know what I mean? You still have that, like, sense
The
of...
shitty part about it is he did all that work to put out the fire in the helicopter, and then all of a sudden he just tosses it away. He's like, why couldn't you have done that, like, 2 hours ago?
Yeah,
I know.
Right.
I know.
Could have saved me a lot of herbs and health and and bullets, most importantly.
How about crossing the tar to get to Edge Knot City?
Yeah, this is like you have a couple of these moments in Death Stranding, but this felt like the most Kojima of them all, and the most Metal Gear of them all.
Oh.
So you're done that central region, which is kind of like the Great Lakes / kind of like Rocky Mountains area, and you have to cross a tar pit to get to the end of it. And Die Hardman kind of intercoms you and is like, hey, we're working on a way to get you across the tar pit, but we have faith also that you can figure it out. Or like figure out a way yourself. But he's like, we'll be in touch. And so he kind of gets off, and you're like, all right, well, I'm not at the edge yet. Let me see if I get to the edge. And I was getting closer and closer, and then the time fall started to come down. And I was like, fuck. There's a BT zone. And I kept walking, and then BB, little arm comes out, starts spinning, like, fuck, all right, BT, I gotta try to get to the edge. And I was walking a little bit, and I just realized there was, like, a lot of BTs to navigate through. And I didn't have, like, a lot of supplies on me. And I was thinking, I was like, I still don't know the way to get across. This is the Hideo Kojima game. Whenever you activate BTs, they start bringing up all this tar and some random shit along with it. I bet you I gotta trigger the BTs and shit starts happening. Lo and behold, if you get like the BTs start chasing you, like a whole city starts to come out of the thing. You got all these different whales like flying over that could potentially hurt you if you don't time your jumps right. And literally, if you put the Metal Gear Solid alert music behind it, it felt like I was playing Metal Gear all over again.
That's fucking cool.
Dun, dun, it's like Norman Reedus hopping from building to building.
That's cool shit.
Yeah, that was like that was like that one gameplay moment that I was like, oh, why couldn't this be the whole goddamn fucking game? This is cool shit. I'm kind of torn between whether I like that more than After Party.
You kind of talked about the after party stuff yesterday.
Yeah. You kind of, as you're tasked to, because the Satan won't. He kind of is like dismissing the whole drinking game thing. He's like trying to like divert you away from doing it because you're going to run out of time for the loophole to end. He's like, oh yeah, if you go visit my brothers and sisters and get their seals of approval about drinking them, I'll let you drink. And he kind of sends you off. And you get to his one sister, who used to be a former lawyer out in hell. And you kind of are in a bar, and you kind of disguise yourself as a demon by like standing on top of one another, like putting like a like demon clothes on. And so you're kind of hanging out with these other demons, like trying to disguise it. And this is when Sister Mary Wormhole comes up around again. She's like, "Hey guys, have you met my friend here? Has he told you, or has he told you his name yet? Oh, you should ask what he does. He also smells really weird." Like, the point is, like, not a demon or whatever, because you're in a demon-only bar, so you have to like fit in. And she just keep poking that, like, "Hey, he's not like right." Okay. So then, like, when you're in that conversation, there's like hints of like an overthrow about to happen. Like, people don't like Satan as their leader, and like the sister is like, "Oh yeah, we gotta get him out of there," and stuff like that. And then she walks away, and you kind of keep talking to these other people if you want to, and he's like, "Oh yeah, we're playing something big tonight." And it's like, "Oh shit, they're like, you're gonna walk into like something big," and when you get to the house at the end. And then you get to the lawyer, you have another conversation with her. Like, they talked about it, didn't they? And they're like, "What are you talking about? It the thing tonight that's Satan's. I know you know." And then she like snaps you out of your clothes, like she knows you're human as well. And she's like, "Yeah, you can't tell anyone, but you have to do exactly what I say." And you're like, "Oh shit, all right, I'm espionage," and all right. She's like, "I have a man on trial here in hell, and we have to get him convicted. There's evidence that says he didn't actually do what he did, so he shouldn't be in hell. But he needs to stay." And you're like, "Oh, that's weird." So I chose to follow her rules to get him to stay, so I can get her seal of approval or whatever. But then, like, you do all that, and you hear like these other mumblings from other characters along the way, and then you get there, and then everyone starts barging in. That was in that lawyer's like in that bar, and you're like, "Oh shit, here we go. What's about to go down?" Here comes that dude that we convicted and we thought we condemned to like hell, and he ends up being like a pastor who runs interventions, and he starts talking. He's like, "All right, you need to tell us how you feel about your brother being an alcoholic." And like the sister starts talking, and you're like, and like Milo and Lola, like, "Holy shit, what's going on? Oh my god, this is an intervention." And like everyone's talking about their feelings. It seems like, what the hell is going on? It's just like you expected like this big brawl or something, and it's just a giant intervention.
You're just as shocked as Satan is.
Yeah. That was a genuine surprise from that game. I did not expect that. When you play a Kojima game, you expect Metal Gear Solid a little bit.
Yeah.
So I kind of talking about both of them. As cool as crossing that tar pit was, I prefer After Party.
All right.
The Nero and Virgil stuff sounds cool, and Ashtray Maze is probably still my favorite. So with the rule of 3 that I've been following, we can get rid of that tar pit.
How about Johnny Cage?
Oh, I thought we cut that already.
Oh, all right.
No, because the Fire God was better.
Oh, yeah. All right. So we got the time jump in Fire Emblem Three Houses, Ashtray Maze in Control, Nero versus Virgil in Devil May Cry 5, and the Satan Overthrow turns out to be an intervention in After Party.
And you know what? Even further than that, I know, like, if I had played Fire Emblem, I would get attached to some of my classmates, and like as I saw them slowly roll into the battlefield, I would have been doing the same thing you did. Oh, he's here! Yeah. Oh shit, where's I don't know, where's Sheena?
Yeah.
There's Sheena, there's her! The band's fucking back together!
But also, like, how they transformed you, like, "Oh, he's got a mullet now! Look at him!" Like, that was cool. Like, "Oh my god, her hair's long." You know what I mean? Like, that little moments, like
whoa, he's badass! Look at him!
Well, and then, I mean, fucking spoilers, but then when you start seeing the other people, you're like, the fuck happened to Dimitri? Why has he got an eye patch? Why does he look like that? Like, shit got fucked up. And like,
punished.
So I would even like keep that over the Satan Overthrow turns into an intervention.
Do you think those 3 are the strongest? Nero, Ashtray, and Time Jump?
Of what's left, yeah.
Mark?
I have no complaints there.
All right, where do we go?
Ashtray Maze?
I think so. Now you got me all fucking pumped about. Like, now I'm like,
I know I'm a little pumped up too, but that was one of the most creative things that I've seen in a game in a bit, at least this year. I think.
Like, if there's a thing I'm a fan of, it's kind of like pseudo fighting / music video style combat, where you just go along with the music.
I'm gonna be honest, I didn't overall love Control as a game at all, but that was the moment where I was just like, oh, thank fucking god. You know what I mean? Like, that just felt good. Because I was overplaying that game, and then that happened, and I was like, all right, this was pretty good.
And it ends just as, like the length of the song was perfect.
Yep.
For that.
Yeah, I'm sure there was some disguised programming to, like, kind of loop certain sections, but, dude, yeah, you kind of get in there, and, like, shit starts hitting the fan, and it felt really good. And you're kind of like, man, I wish I had more of this earlier in the game, but, you know. I'm not gonna complain about getting a cool ass moment.
Yeah, no, that was fucking good. All right, well there it is. Your favorite in-game moment: Ashtray Maze in Control with runners-up Nero vs. Virgil in Devil May Cry 5, and the time jump in Fire Emblem 3 Houses. Moving on to our next category: Best Ongoing Game, previously known as Best Game as a Service. Your nominees are Rocket League, Destiny 2, Apex Legends, Magic the Gathering Arena, Dota 2, Halo Master Chief Collection. Boy, this is tough.
I love Rocket League. One of my favorite games ever. But besides a rocket pass from time to time and the cool little events that they did. But the events go away, and yeah, you can keep the cosmetics, but like the game modes or the maps, like in the Stranger Things scenario, they go away. There's a lot of good contenders here. I think Rocket League, it did not do it this year as much as I wanted it to.
Yeah, it was growing pains. I think moving under new ownership and getting things.
But
moving.
dude, I mean, fucking still flawless.
Yeah, doing great, but like nothing like.
Yeah, nothing like new and striking. Like yes, that. Yeah.
Well, speaking of new and striking. Apex Legends, didn't even know that was a thing, and then it was announced and released and out.
That all happened in a whirlwind of a week.
It was crazy. And it was really fucking good. I mean, I'm not playing it anymore, so I'm inclined to kind of cut that one next, but they're still doing stuff. It's definitely growing, and I think we obviously
knew map
now
too, right?
Yeah, I think it's only the one map technically. Like I think when they moved to the
the Fortnite
newest
thing,
one,
like
yeah. But then they do like events where the old one comes back, but it's dark or shit like that. They did that for Halloween. But yeah, I mean that game keeps getting new characters. It keeps doing things. That game's doing cool things as an ongoing game. Something about like their lore I don't give a fuck about.
I mean, it shares the Titanfall universe, so
I would rather see the Titanfall universe. Like something about these heroes just seem off to me. I don't know what it is. You know what I mean?
I mean, I don't think it takes the forefront.
No,
at all.
It's weird.
So you probably have to go looking for it.
Yeah.
I've kind of fell off it. It's just the thing that you kind of look at the list here. It has that battle pass thing. That's like the biggest service it has going for it. I'm kind of over a battle pass.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I didn't buy it, but I heard that first one was not great.
I bought it. It was not great.
Okay, so.
But I heard the later ones did get better.
I bought
that first one. I was high on Apex Legends, dude. I fucking loved that game when it was out, and I was like, let's do this.
I mean, I
downloaded Origin for it.
Yeah, I have a friend who
fucking hate Origin.
Constantly streams it. So,
really? Yeah,
he's still into it.
It's really good. It just,
Let's cut City, right? We're cutting it, right?
Oh yeah,
okay.
Cut. Dota 2. What new happened over there in the world of Dota?
All right. Well, I mean, besides like this one game that constantly changes its map, and it's always patching, and yes, it does have a battle pass that I did spend a lot of money on this summer, but to build a TI, a lot of fucking hype there, and all that good stuff. Dota Plus is still hanging around, but the key to why I nominated it this year, there is a tab. There's the play tab, but then there's also like the I forget the name of it, but the other games you can play in Dota. The ones from the community. The mods, you may say. And in the month of January, was this huge fucking community game called Auto Chess that essentially birthed a brand new genre that is awesome. And it technically is in the Dota 2 client, so try arguing that.
Valve didn't make it.
Valve didn't make it, but it's all in Dota 2.
I know, but
Dota 2 gave it the keys to create auto chess.
that's like saying we give best game as a service to fucking Arma 3 because PUBG was really good this year.
We could have, but we didn't.
No, damn it, you can't. I don't know. What did Dota do to make it a best ongoing game? Because it sounds like what the developers of Dota did was give the keys to people to do something else with Dota, and nothing really happened with Dota. You know what I mean? Like, the core of Dota 2, what happened to make that the best ongoing game compared to these other three?
Is the concept map changing, or not necessarily map changing, but like the small little patches they just put out weekly, or all these constantly kind of changing the meta to make sure it stays fresh and not one character is always getting used? I would say this is probably one I liked this year's Battle Pass. They brought back the jungle. They put a little bit more it took a little bit longer, but I think in the long run that it kept people around a little bit longer.
Oh yeah. I remember every week. Maybe Matt's playing something. Nope. All right. No. Yeah.
Turbo is still a thing, and I know I haven't been back to it since kind of after TI, but like I heard about a gameplay change, and it kind of makes me want to go back and play ranked. Because I think it's the courier. The courier, like, now, since each player has their own.
Yeah, that changes the game again. Yeah,
like the rank. I always felt bad playing rank because I never knew when to call the courier. Like, I didn't know like good practicing or a good practice on when to call and when to not, and what lane should it have priority over it.
Yeah.
But now that I got my own, I fucking just like. That's one of the things I liked about Turbo. You don't have to worry about because everyone's assigned their own courier and it goes super fast. And then in this game, or now, like. I've been thinking about going back to that game ever since I heard that. I was like, "Oh God, that sounds." Really
I think that those are better arguments than auto chess. Auto chess is huge
in that game, though.
It's not. Valve didn't do it. I know, but Valve didn't do it. Like when you think of best ongoing game, right? I'm not saying is Dota fucking cool. I'm saying like in the game, the stuff that the people making it put into the game to continue it moving forward.
Oh, and he got 3 new characters this year.
Yeah, those are the things
You got 2 that just released I didn't get to play with, but Mars did come out, and he was pretty much tournament ready from the start, and he was a big pick in TI this past year.
All right. Do we cut Destiny 2 and give this to Halo?
For a game that won Best DLC Expansion, and
no, we'll cut Dota 2. If you're gonna throw out the fucking auto chess argument, which I don't agree with,
all right,
then we cut Dota 2. But if we allow the auto chess argument, I think Dota 2 wins.
I think for the category of best ongoing game, I don't think auto chess qualifies.
But it got people to click that game.
A bunch of fucking porn got people to open Overwatch, but Blizzard didn't make it. You know what I mean?
I thought you were talking about the Artifact Twitch channel.
Both. Okay, but there you go. Case in point, right? Like, Artifact isn't going to win best fucking card game this year because or whatever, like most watched game.
What? Why? We should nominate that. That had a good service of a year.
Yeah, fuck.
It died.
Why didn't we put that on favorite industry moment? We need to go back.
Forgot about it.
Yeah, fuck, damn, that was really good. Anyway, you know what I mean? Like
fine, all right, that's fine.
That's
cool
where I feel with that. But with Destiny 2, in terms of best ongoing game, I feel like Destiny 2 had a really strong expansion. I feel like it is doing a lot of things to set itself up for the future.
You're dismissing cross save, dude.
Oh yeah, that too. That was
that rejuvenated it made me launch on a PC for the first time, and it made me interested to play again.
Yeah. I bought it all on PC.
It's now free to play, so you can play. Like, you don't have to buy the game technically.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I think you're dismissing Destiny 2 there a little bit just because of you just think about the expansion. Everything else around it.
No, huge. You're right. And they did the little battle pass thing, which
It's fine, but it's not like Apex where like that's it.
Yeah.
Like there
This
is
is
a
a
fuck ton
bonus.
of other stuff to do.
And the cool thing with the battle pass with Destiny is that once you hit like level 5, which is pretty easy to hit in a season, you get the power artifact or whatever the fuck it is.
Artifact.
Yeah. You get to watch porn on Twitch. And it's a thing that basically you wear it and you level that up so it boosts your light level. So you can actually like hit the cap faster and then exceed the power cap by powering up this thing, which is cool. All right. You want to cut Dota?
I'll cut if you're throwing out that argument. Then yes, we can throw out Dota.
All right. Then what wins? We didn't talk about Magic yet. It's on here because obviously it finally got me to play Magic, which is fucking what I've wanted forever, for the longest time. But 2, the biggest thing that just happened recently is Historic. So it finally added in modes. The game has been growing like rapidly all year long, but there's finally modes added where now you can play Historic. Not only does that mean that they're opening up to, because there's only certain tournament legal cards so many sets drop off and only so many are legal. So the ones that had dropped off in the game were still in the game and you could do for like free play or whatever, but there was no way to really play that in any sort of competitive way. Now they added in Historic, and they're now going back through previous sets, old print sets that have never been digitizing them and bringing cards, which is like fucking, they're slowly just bringing the entirety of Magic to this, which is fucking cool.
Yeah, big old 1.0 launch too.
Yeah, and I think that was big. I think the other cool thing about this is that one piece of when you build out the mastery tree of like you play with a black deck, so you start earning these little nodes to put into the tree, and every time you do, you get more cards of that type to fit into your deck of like the tutorial decks they give you. And then when you fill that all the way out, you get like all these cool things just for that deck. Then you move into red, and as you fill that out, you get that. And then you get to fill out the space in between red and black, so you get things that help boost a red-black deck or a red-green deck, or like wherever the circles overlap. It's just, oh man, it just keeps you fucking coming back. Put it on iPad. And then Halo Master Chief Collection
got Reach,
got added to PC.
Cross
save.
They're little, not battle pass, but get a little incentive to play some multiplayer.
You fucked me up though, because I thought the answer to this was going to be Halo, and now you got me thinking it should be Destiny 2.
I think it's Destiny 2.
Yeah,
and also like all the actual changes that have happened, but like the big one that we talked about in Favorite Industry Moment in January, like I feel a lot better knowing that Bungie is handling that game itself.
Yeah.
Than it being with Activision.
Yes.
So like I think just that moral win right there is a huge thing for that game.
I'm okay with it.
Having the gamers on your side is a big deal.
No, I'm okay. My thing is I'm still gonna I'm ready to jump into Halo like tonight, and Magic I'm still playing randomly here and there.
Don't get me wrong, I think MCC is the better game, but if we're looking at it as a service and what it pulled off this year.
Yeah, for 2019, Destiny's story is too good not to give it to. So.
Also, and not to dismiss it, but Master Chief Collection did come to game. Was it
Game Pass was last year.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, great.
Mark, how do you feel? Where do you weigh in on these?
Yeah, I haven't said a word for.
I know. I'm like,
and I mean, ongoing games is clearly not my thing.
I know.
Until next year.
Oh,
then,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, everything sounds accurate. Sounds about right. No disagreements with any of it.
You feel good with Destiny at the top?
I mean, no, but yeah.
For the reasons I said.
I
would still stand by MCC is the better game.
For me, no, just for jokes, but as the free cheese, that seems to make the most sense.
All right. There you have it. Best ongoing game, Destiny 2, with your runners-up, Magic the Gathering Arena and Halo the Master Chief Collection. Going to bring things to a close here. After our final category, Best Nintendo Game, your nominees are Super Mario Maker 2, Fire Emblem 3 Houses, Luigi's Mansion 3, Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield, Tetris 99, Astral Chain, Ring Fit Adventure.
Look who came to the table with so many games this year.
I know. God damn, Nintendo. The crazy thing is, if you think back to 2013...
Oh, wait, you didn't put Link's Awakening on here.
Well, there's a reason for that. Or 2012, 2013. Think about how big those years were. I guess, think of 2012, right? You had what? Walking Dead. Was Journey that year or was Journey 2013? I think Journey was 2012.
I don't remember.
I don't know. There was a lot versus 2019 for PlayStation and Xbox versus Nintendo. Like Nintendo Switch is in the middle of its life cycle where these two are at the final thing. You should have these big, crazy, holy shit games 2012. But it just like PlayStation and Xbox kind of where Nintendo, we got what, 7 nominees here? Oh boy. I think the first one I would nominate to cut is Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield.
Before Mario Maker, after you just had him biggest disappointment?
Oh, dude, I love Mario Maker. I told you why Mario was a disappointment.
Okay, all right.
You
That's
know what
I mean?
Hey,
Now looking back at it, I feel like Pokemon should have been in the biggest disappointment category.
It didn't disappoint me, though. It did exactly what I thought it would do.
Oh, it disappointed me.
I know it did. But for me, I thought Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield were going to be another Pokemon game. And it turns out they are. What they did do was they stripped out a lot of bullshit. There's no more, like... We talked about that, right? They've streamlined so much stuff. No more HMs. No more... You got to carry a Pokemon you don't like in your party who has Fly and Cut or fucking Surf. Gone. That's all gone. You get the ability to fast travel by the first town, and you can use it to fly anywhere you've been. Like immediately, it's just, and the load time for it is like, and you're there. You know what I mean? Like it's super quick, it's super efficient. The ability to grab a Pokemon from your box, throw it in your party on the fly, like so much of that game is streamlined. But at the end of the day, there's not a lot that's like new. The new stuff that they added to it is like, hey, there's the max raids. I don't care. Hey, there's Dynamaxing. Well, it's pretty. Don't care. You know what I mean? Like, none of it is... It's great. It's a great Pokemon game. But they took a lot of steps forward in shedding a lot of baggage. I'm excited to see what the next Switch one is, right? Like, where do they start taking some risks and doing some weird things? So I'm cool with cutting that one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man.
Luigi's Mansion can go next.
That's what I was thinking, too.
After playing that whole thing, after playing 3 games, it's fine. I feel like 2 should have never existed, and this should have been 2.
Yeah.
But
this felt like the right length for Luigi's Mansion.
I mean, I had a good time with it. I enjoyed it. Like the gameplay was fine. Like there wasn't too much like bullcrap.
No.
I mean, there was some backtracking that was kind of annoying, but
yeah.
Other than
that cat can go suck.
Fuck. Yeah, fuck that cat.
Yeah, but like, I'm not ready to cut this one yet. Actually, hold on.
You sure?
Yeah. Well, all right. What do we feel strongest about on this? I think 3 Houses is just fucking an achievement in video games.
Yeah, and 99.
Yes.
Granted, it's the only one I play on this list, but like from afar, I think those are the 2 I would have said.
You gotta play your Switch more. That's walk away from 2019. That's my takeaway. Matt needs to play.
I'm on my PC now.
Do
man.
you need a new set of Joy-Con to get you fucking excited about?
I have the good ones. I got Splatoon. I got good ones.
All right. I'm just saying, maybe you need something else to get you excited again. You know, make you feel like I gotta be playing this thing.
Yeah,
Amiibos.
A game I gotta.
Dude, I have walked past that Incineroar amiibo so many times. Like, is this Matt's? But it's $16 is too expensive for a joke. Know what I mean?
Not for me.
If it was $10, done. 16,
That's how I felt about that Crystal Head vodka.
Yeah, you know, like it was $10.
Yeah. I feel strongest about Tetris 99.
Tetris 99 is fucking up there. That is.
Oh, also, why didn't we put that with ongoing game?
Oh yeah.
I don't think I would have made it through those 3 games.
It could be Magic
Not for me.
or Halo.
No, not for me.
Oh, whatever.
All right. Yeah, Fire Emblem right now is my front runner with Tetris right behind. Shit. Best
Your
Nintendo
two
game.
categories.
Best Nintendo game. Like Ring Fit you're not gonna get that anywhere else,
That's
man.
fucking
like, that
unique.
is,
I will say
that.
that.
Is fucking Nintendo right there.
Yeah, and it's better than Labo.
All right. Fuck. See, all right. Super Mario Maker 2 had a fucking impeccable campaign that not only was fun to play just as a Mario game set in all these different art styles and themes and everything, but it also taught you how to be a better level designer and creator of Mario games. Like, I feel like if Nintendo was hiring someone to make the next Mario game, they could give them this as like, hi, welcome to the team. Please learn this, right? And playing the game taught you how to make a good Mario. Again, like, my disappointment with Mario is that it just isn't on the Wii U, which is weird, right?
That's
But
actually like the one thing I agree with that.
it's just
Yeah.
a weird thing, but like, that's that aside, like, the playing of Mario, you know, like, okay, maybe creation isn't for me in this game. That's fine. The playing of the stuff, I think the sense of discovery, being able to filter down, like, everything this game does is an improvement over that first one, except for the creation stuff, which is a bummer because it has fucking creation in the title, or synonym thereof. But the community discovery, the stuff they added, like, to the game that, like, really brings the game to life in a new way that just wasn't there before. Slopes, like, you wouldn't think that slopes would be necessary, but like having them just let you do so many different things. Like, I don't know, man.
I feel better thinking about Mario Maker 2 than I do Luigi's Mansion 3.
Yeah, Luigi's Mansion 3 is
It doesn't
just,
have the vibe.
No, it doesn't have the vibe. That I think that's
That's a big part of that game.
yeah.
It wasn't not. I mean, I get it. Nintendo, not really going to be spoopy.
Yeah.
Luigi's Mansion 1 wasn't really like scary, but
No.
it had the vibe.
But it also had like that parody of Resident Evil to an extent that was kind of cool.
yeah.
And this one just was like, all right, yeah, it was good. It was good, man. I like Luigi's Mansion. It's a well-made game, but I think I said it even after my first playthrough. It's just like there's something. There's like
They animated Luigi so well. They captured his character really, accurately.
yeah,
But yeah, I don't know. Just
So Lugu melts away.
melts down the drain. He goes.
Luigi's fine. Luigi.
Yeah,
on the
Luigi's
other
the
hand.
problem.
Yeah, that's what everyone says.
Astral Chain.
I saw the epic conclusion of Joe's run with that game. So
Yeah.
I mean, I dropped off sooner than you did.
I got to the final boss. I got to the final fight. I beat the final boss, and then the game crashed as it tried to load the
Next
ending.
phase.
Yeah, like, and then I was not going to go back and do that fight again. So I beat it though, right? Like, it was there. Just fuck it.
It's a fun little platinum game, but
I liked it. There were things about it that irked me a little bit. Like, why the fuck am I silent? But my twin, that if I had switched, oh god.
then Fire Emblem's not winning this.
No, honestly, that was the one ding against Fire Emblem. Everything about Fire Emblem Three Houses was fantastic, except for that. Like, I loved the strategy. I loved the way it challenged me. I loved the character interaction. I loved the world. I loved all of it. It was the fact that Byleth didn't say a goddamn word. Like, that's the only thing.
That was funny is that Luigi was probably the most vocal
I know.
out of all.
I know.
This. He the whole D-pad was dedicated Mario button, like
Yeah.
Mario.
I'm going to kill Astral Chain, which leaves us with Super Mario Maker 2, Fire Emblem 3 Houses, Tetris 99, and Ring Fit Adventure. Oh boy.
So we just gotta cut one more.
I know.
what
Well,
do
then we
you
gotta
want,
pick
Ring
one.
Fit or Super Mario?
I know. That's Ring Fit. I love Super Mario Maker 2, but Ring Fit is just so fucking Nintendo. I mean, so is Mario. I know. You know what I mean. fast. That hurts, man, a lot.
Like
Yeah.
me personally, with Super Mario Maker 2, like I wouldn't have that issue. I mean, I get where you're coming from with that because I didn't have Mario Maker on Wii U, so I don't have that prior of like experience with having two screens. So I would just learn just like, all right, fucking
No, and that's where I'm like, I don't even consider the creation part. Like, here's the thing: when you are creating a level and you're not thinking that dumb argument that I had yesterday about or was that whatever the fuck it was, that stuff doesn't really faze me in the grand overhaul scheme of the game.
But there is one that you are still playing.
Yeah, and
one that you like to think fondly of.
yeah, but I do jump into Super Mario. Like when Super Mario Maker got the Zelda update, I jumped
Right.
into that. When it got, there was an update a couple months ago. I don't remember, but right, like I'm still playing it. When I was in Japan, I was playing it on the train all the time, just like working through the some of the single player stuff. But
So it sounds like Super Mario Maker 2, it's a good advancement, but didn't quite hit that target yet. And I feel like Ring Fit exactly hit what it was aiming for.
ooh, I don't know about that. You put it that way.
I mean, that's just what it sounded. I mean, here it is a sequel because the first one didn't really hit everything. It added more.
Yeah, but Super Mario Maker 2 is like it's like almost there. There's just like I don't know. It's like all right, put it this way. Have you ever had like a chocolate chip cookie that had salt added to it? Or like a brownie with salt or something like that?
What?
The tiniest little bit of salt. The tiniest little bit. And you taste it and you're like, why is this so good? And someone's like, oh, I actually added a little bit of salt because what it does, right?
I mean, I've had chocolate-covered pretzels.
But that thing where you like expect it, but then the salt like kind of like just flattens it a little. I don't know how to describe it, right? You know what I'm talking about?
Salty
though?
sweet. I mean, that's it.
But it's that tiny bit of salt where it's like, oh no, I added salt and it does this to the chocolate chip cookies. And you're like, oh fuck, that's cool. Mario Maker 2 forgot to add the salt. It's still a fucking chocolate chip cookie and a damn good one. But if it had that little pinch of salt,
Little Emerald Lagasse, bam!
bam, it would be the next notch up. And that's the thing. Apples to oranges, butts to butts, nuts to faces. I don't think that Ring Fit necessarily has the sugar and the salt. It's just still really good. You know what I mean? Like I don't think the two compare in that regard.
Yeah. I guess to me, Ring Fit is more of a symbol of Nintendo's innovation.
Yes, I agree.
But Mario Maker is more of a Nintendo game.
Yes. And a really good game. Why doesn't Nintendo publish some games for Xbox and PlayStation so we could have split these all up across the board? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know.
I'm kidding. Don't ever do that, Nintendo. All right, who is the winner? That's the tough part.
I think Fire Emblem.
That's what I think too. I fucking love Tetris 99, but I'm not
I
playing
think just
Tetris
like
99 all the time.
boxing match, pound to pound, like Three Houses just offers so much more than Tetris 99 does.
Yeah.
And it does it all well, evidently.
Oh, I wish I could bring this Tetris Effect arguments back.
I'm not saying Tetris 99 is just Tetris. Like but it's I don't know, like it's really good, but Tetris 99 didn't hit me the same way that Fire Emblem did.
Don't bring back those Tetris arguments because then we'll have to hear how Tetris Effect was best story.
Well, it technically was.
I mean, 99 is the only reason that I go back to playing anything online.
Yeah.
When you do those
Bingo,
like
bongo.
like when you do those
Bango.
like exclusive themes that you have to earn the points for to get.
Oh yeah, no. Every time I do
That's a
them,
good
yeah.
incentive.
Yeah.
I mean, they added so much to it since then, like having the offline. I mean, you have to pay for it, but the offline mode,
No, yeah.
all the marathoning, all that stuff. Like it's like before this, Tetris DS was my favorite Tetris to play.
So surpassed that for you?
It will suffice.
All right.
But I mean, yeah, like I didn't think I would care for that kind of game, but that's the most competitive. Besides Halo, is you're going to get out of me. I think is that. I mean, I see the argument for Fire Emblem for sure. It's just hard for me to really get insight on it, I guess. No, yeah, that's fine. I mean, I guess if anything, that one had. I mean, that game was a long time coming, right? Like they were.
Yeah, but
that game was in the works for
a long time, but that doesn't, I feel like
and
when
it needed this. Like
the Fire Emblem.
Yes, because Heroes wasn't gonna hold anyone over.
No.
And I'm glad that that there is a console version that people can go
Yeah,
to.
like this was it's big, and like I don't know, there's so many different animations that just looked cool, and
I've seen people do all routes with this.
yeah, there's a lot of
People go
opportunity
crazy
with it.
over it.
I'm still chipping away at my second playthrough. Like I definitely haven't made a dent in that the way I want to, but
No, I mean,
like
definitely as a game, that's definitely more solid all around.
like of the year, right? If someone says, "Hey, I just got a Switch for Christmas. Should I?" Well, I guess you should have Nintendo Switch Online because it's $20. But like, what's the best game I can buy this year? Like for me, the answer is Fire Emblem Three Houses. I guess it also depends on the person, right? But
Yeah.
that's a different argument. But like, it's just that is such a strong game.
Yeah. Okay.
But also fucking play Tetris 99 because that is a damn good game. And in a year where, I don't know.
I mean that's just one that's just more, I guess, accessible. You can just keep going back to it, not have to worry about investing hours and hours of dialogue.
Yeah. But that's the thing too, is I think Fire Emblem for the first time in Three Houses is super accessible compared to the other ones. Like the last one that came out was, last one was the remake, the Shadows of Valencia. But before that it was Fates and Conquest. And like,
Shit.
huh? Did you pull a muscle?
It got me second guessing myself.
On?
So wait, are we still on 4?
No, it should have.
No, it didn't update for me.
Oh, let me hit done and see if it triggers. For
Yeah,
me.
I mean, the majority vote is Fire Emblem, right? So like, why are we
Well, not majority. I mean, we got to come to the consensus.
2-1?
I just mean like I want us to all feel good about it.
I'm okay with it. I mean, I like Mario Maker more than Fire Emblem.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going for that argument.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean,
I'm just gonna sit back and.
I mean, if we're talking Nintendo, doesn't get more Nintendo than that. But that's also a dumb argument.
Well, yeah. I just mean best game on the Switch, like best Switch exclusive this year. I think that's the way to look at it.
Mario Maker is my vote.
Does that mean that we move Ring Fit or Tetris 99?
I think
would
Ring Fit's out at this scenario because we haven't mentioned Ring Fit winning once.
Yeah. It's really good, but I don't know if it's up that good.
They were all really good at this point.
Yeah, I know. Shit. No, because Ring Fit, I gotta leave Ring Fit in. Like, Ring Fit does...
So then what gets cut?
I don't know. Tetris?
Yikes. Damn.
I know, but could it be Fire Emblem, Ring Fit, and Mario Maker?
I think that's fine.
And... I fucking love Tetris.
I think Tetris could beat Ring Fit.
My only thing, like, Ring Fit does the stuff where, like, it's intelligent with how it shapes out the adventure for you, right? Like, it knows that...
But you also got to commit physically. And
Yeah,
not everybody wants to do that every day. Or
Yeah.
No, I know that, but when you do, like, what is the game, right? Like, the game is that, and it's,
And then I guess with Tetris, not everyone wants to commit mentally.
True. And there's also concessions you can make with Ring Fit. Like, you can turn the difficulty way down, right? Like, you can make it that, and when you turn difficulty down, it just means you do fewer reps at higher damage. So you don't have to be crazy, going nuts, burning, 600 calories a day. You can do whatever is comfortable for you, as much or as little resistance as possible. It encourages, right? It asks whatever, but if you're like, hey, this is good for me, you can tell it to stop asking you if you want to make it harder. You can, like, balance it to you. But I think it's smart how it knows, like, all right, this world right now that you're playing in is all leg stuff. And it's not just that, hey, there's some demons that are blue and you have to fight them because legs are blue, right? And it's strong against that. It's how they shape the world, right? So you might have a level where it says, this is going to focus on your legs. And it's not just bring your leg workouts because they're strong against the enemies. It's also, there's more stairs to climb in this one. There's more, you know what I mean? Like the different things that they do that encourage leg workouts. And they tie it into the story in a good way where, I mean, it's all silly, right? But it's still like, there is Allegra, the goddess of fucking legs or whatever. Like she's whatever. And like you go up against her and then she gets corrupted by Drago, her and all of the warriors of working out, Allegra, Armando, like they all get corrupted. And then you have to take them down at their own sport, either leg or arm or ab or
Why didn't you nominate this for best story, man?
Dude, I mean, it's not a pretty good song. But like, I just think that like the way that it all layers it, like with the types of workouts, with the level design, with all of that, there's just such a good balance. Everything is done with intention. I think that Ring Fit's gotta stay on the list.
Okay.
And what do you cut? Tetris?
I say cut Tetris and put Super Mario Maker.
All right.
Okay.
All right. What wins?
Unison.
All right. What does win? Is it Fire Emblem or Mario Maker? Or
Just with a game like Mario Maker, I can't.
I'm not letting you give Ring Fit a win.
I feel like Mario Maker has so much to offer.
It really does, because there's endless possibility. They continually add to it. Which there's been DLC for Fire Emblem, but that's separate. But I'm okay with Mario Maker winning.
Fine.
Yeah.
All right. There you have it. Best Nintendo game, Super Mario Maker 2, with runners-up Fire Emblem, Three Houses, and Ring Fit Adventure. And that concludes Day 3 of our Game of the Year 2019 awards. To recap for the day, Best Gameplay goes to Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, with runners-up Session and Devil May Cry 5. Best DLC or expansion goes to Destiny 2 Shadowkeep, with runners-up Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and Halo the Master Chief Collection. Our favorite in-game moment was the Ashtray Maze in Control, with runners-up Nero vs. Virgil in Devil May Cry 5, and the time jump in Fire Emblem Three Houses. Best Game as a Service goes to Destiny 2, with runners-up Magic the Gathering Arena and Halo the Master Chief Collection. And finally, Best Nintendo Game, Super Mario Maker 2, with runners-up Fire Emblem Three Houses and Ring Fit Adventure. We will be back tomorrow. Merry Christmas to you all out there. Have a great day. It's hopefully snowing where you are, because snow is great. And so are video games. Go play some video games. Celebrate with folks and yourself. And we'll be back. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Matt. Thanks, listener, for listening. Be back.